there. I don't need you coughing all over me right now.
What are you rocking right now? Young Bucks and NWO?
Yeah, bro.
Why don't I have a wrestling tee on?
I don't know. Why don't you have a wrestling tee on? Where's your wrestling tee? What's going on here?
I have a fishing t-shirt on.
That doesn't count.
It's a sport.
It's a sport, he says.
It is.
It is not.
Sports. Fishing. What's more of a sport, fishing or NASCAR?
NASCAR?
Yeah.
I would say NASCAR is more skilled than fishing is.
I disagree.
Why is that?
NASCAR is just fast twitch muscle fibers.
There's a lot more to it than that.
The vehicle does all the work.
You have to control that vehicle, though.
You're going in circles.
That's fine.
If
You're sitting in a boat, hoping to catch something.
No, there's skill involved in fishing. There's a proper technique. You have to have good presentation. You have to choose a
Good
right lure for the
presentation,
right
he
day.
says.
There's way more studying involved. To be a professional fisherman,
I would say there's probably more time. You got to catch a lot of fish to be considered professional.
far more patient.
So apparently I don't have a mouth now.
So the first symptom of COVID-19 is a numb lower bottom
I'm
lip.
going to mess on myself.
Hi, are we recording?
Yes, we are.
Hey.
Hello.
My buddy says, a PS4, some bankies, and some fishing is how you get over COVID-19.
Some bankies?
Yeah, Coors Banquet.
Oh, dear. Why?
Bankies.
Jeez.
He's a hockey guy.
He's a hacky guy. He's a
A
hacky boy.
guy. He just drinks like whatever is on sale that day.
Just drinking some bankies with our boys, buds.
Okay. Hanging out.
Will Snipe Sally, boys.
Dirty fucking dangles. So I wanted to read this for you because I wanted to hear your reaction to this.
Uh-oh.
So the rumored main event of UFC Dublin is Whitaker Till.
Is it Dublin or is it 249? Because I read 249 earlier.
Whitaker Till is in the works for UFC Dublin main event.
Fuck, man. Right now, I don't think anything's happening in the UFC, period.
Hey.
What? Europe's basically shut down at this
We can
point.
still speculate.
Hold on. No, because the only flights right now from U.S. to Europe are to Great Britain.
It's okay. Neither one of these guys live in the United States. So it's fine.
I get that. But I'm just saying, like, that's the only flights in and out right now. Like, it's... I don't know, man. Like, right now, I'm just kind of, like, at this, like...
Let's pretend like COVID's not happening, and let's talk about other things.
Okay, so fine. So we're going to talk UFC...
Let's talk about Matt.
Whitaker versus Till in Dublin. Yeah, I'm good with that.
How do you feel this fight goes? Like, what on paper, who's the winner?
On paper,
Yeah.
I'd say probably Till.
Yeah, because he looks the best he's ever looked in this division.
And I think, I think Whitaker still coming in from that Adesanya fight is not looking too hot, to be honest.
And Till can fight like Adesanya. Like, he can use distance and he can strike at a high clip. But I think he also is a little bit stronger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I think he's
Till's
more powerful.
Yeah.
So I think he can hurt Whitaker more than Adesanya did.
Fair. Before we go any further,
Yes.
this week I've got Paper Tiger Dry Hop Pilsner from Bellwoods Brewery.
Paper Tiger.
Paper Tiger.
Good till the last drop.
Where's this one even from? Where's Bellwoods Brewery? There's literally nothing down here except for Bell.
It's in the Bellwoods.
Oh, brewed and packaged in Toronto.
Toronto.
That narrows it down.
I don't know. Well, I'm British.
I didn't know either.
Heine. Ken. Amsterdam.
Brewed in.
My homeland. Well, my blood's
Yes.
homeland.
What is the percentage on this one?
The percentage? It's 5%.
Can you read the description?
This is a 500 milliliter can. It is.
You give another spasm again when you drink this one?
No.
Oh.
So just to let everyone know, this is brewed with passion for quality.
I mean, somebody ejaculated in the can.
That's where that 2% protein comes from.
Yep. It's that salty taste you get.
Yeah. Imported from Holland, brewed in Amsterdam. Return where accepted, 20 cents. So there you go. everything you could possibly want to know.
Cans are going to soon become the currency of Canada.
Heineken. Heineken.
Cheers.
Cheers. Holy good day. Yeah, so I have Till winning that fight if that fight's booked. Yep. So, yeah, okay.
Speaking of guys, stepping up, I mean, moving up weight classes.
Stepping oop?
Stepping oop?
Who's stepping oop?
Stepping oop? Stepping up?
Yeah, up. Step up. Who's Channing Tatum?
Shut up. Shut up. I hate you so much. You fucking asshole.
You must be mad, Max. Okay.
Surely you can't be serious.
Ooh.
I am serious.
Okay, who's
and don't call me Shirley. Come on.
Who's that from?
That's what's it? Oh my gosh. Airplane. Was it Airplane 2? Airplane 2. I can't remember his name. Something Nelson. Oh my gosh, what is his name? He's a famous actor. He was in Pink Panther. What do you mean very? He's a super famous actor.
You're talking about the same guy from like...
Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen, that's his name.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah. In Airplane, the guy's like, surely you can't be serious. And he goes, I am serious. Don't call me Shirley.
There you go. Anyways.
We're currently watching some wrestling botches here. Guys just down goes Randy Orton. Yeah.
Oh, don't go back into the move. Oh, they went back into the move.
Well, of course. What else are they going to do? Look at
improv. Do something else.
Well,
they're going to fall.
Oh, right on his head too.
And on the apron.
Oh, what are we doing here? Oh wow.
What? It bothers me. Botches bother me.
Oh yeah,
when I watch them happen,
it's like a car crash.
I just go,
yeah, it's like a car crash.
Oh, he missed him. Man, he did not skip leg day.
Oh dear Lord.
Oh my giddy aunt. Okay, I can't keep watching this.
And down goes Jericho. Sorry, back to what I was saying. Speaking of stepping up classes, I'm not even surprised by this one. Henry Cejudo going up to featherweight wants to fight Volkanovski.
Yeah, he...
what are you doing? You're going to get destroyed.
He's going to get run through.
No, not even. I can't even say run through. He's going to get pick up and literally ran through the cage.
So Cejudo is a good fighter. Cejudo is a very good fighter. Cejudo is a gold medalist. Cejudo is a 2-division champ. But there is a such thing as reaching too far. I don't know how much more weight his body can actually take and fight at a high level.
Well, it's kind of like Conor McGregor moving up to welterweight to fight Nate Diaz the first time.
Yeah, but so the thing with Conor is Conor loses a lot of weight to fight.
Not that much.
Like Conor walks around as a
feather?
Middle?
Conor walks around 185. Are you out of your mind?
You don't think so?
No.
So what is
you also don't think that Yoel Romero can fight at light heavyweight?
Yeah, I don't think he can.
Did you not see the sheer size of that man? He can fight light heavyweight for sure. Anyway,
but he can't.
Conor maybe Conor walks around at welterweight. Tops 170.
But here's the thing. With the weight classes, you have a max weight. So what's welter?
Welter max
170.
Well, max is 172.
Yeah. So I would say he walks around in the middleweight division. Not necessarily 185.
You're telling me that
I think he walks around to
he's dropping 2 weight classes.
He could walk around at 177. That's middleweight.
I still think he walks around closer to maybe 170.
You think so?
Yeah.
But he was fighting at featherweight. That was where he
got to
started.
Start in featherweight. Yeah.
So McGregor's body is a welterweight's body. That's the division he should be fighting in, right?
At welter?
Yeah, that's his body.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like if we're looking at everybody fighting out the weight class they should be fighting.
People are now. People are starting to trend in that direction. There's many fighters fighting in the division they're supposed to fight.
Because there's a lot of guys that lose a lot of strength because they're not.
Yeah.
Like, Darren Till is a guy that,
Poirier looks great.
Oh,
in his proper division, right? So it's It's a trend. It's gonna end up being the rules. They're gonna start doing the what you were talking about. One championship does
the hydration testing.
Yeah, they're gonna start doing that.
Well, they kind of already have. Like, so
that's their version of player safety.
No, but like this. So this is the was it the. I don't remember if it was California, Vegas, or if it was actually like the United States form of the Athletic Commission that said that for a fighter to be able to compete, they have to be at like, I think it was, they moved it from like 10 to 15% hydration levels at weigh-ins, which is great. Like that's good. We're making steps in the right direction. I do think it should be a lot higher.
What's ones?
65? Like they're up there.
Let's say 50.
Sure, call it 50.
Let's say 50.
Like force them to fight closer to their natural weight.
It's healthier.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna be able to go get rushed to the hospital because of organ failure because they're cutting all this weight.
You're responsible for your employees' safety. At the end of the day, UFC fighters are employees. They are under contract to the company. So you should be responsible enough to say, I understand this is what you want to do, but I will not allow you to do something that holds me liable somehow.
Yeah.
Right? So they need to step in. Yeah, Cejudo fighting Volkanovski. I don't see that going well for Cejudo.
No, I see it like him just getting walked through.
Yeah. I see it kind of like when Dillashaw went down to Floyd. Oh, he looked like a skeleton.
He looked like a skeleton and he got
like
whooped.
But when Volkanovski faces off against Cejudo, I don't think Volkanovski will respect any like sort of power from Cejudo. I don't think he's afraid of being knocked out by him. You know what I mean? Like when Cejudo was fighting Dillashaw, even though Dillashaw looked ill, Cejudo was still kind of afraid of Dillashaw. He was like, "Oh, this guy can still damage me." I don't think
Volkanovski's scared of anyone though.
That's my point, right? He's the wrong guy to do this against.
Yeah, 100%.
He's the wrong guy. He ain't the one, right? You don't want that smoke. Like Volkanovski's going to do something to this man, and Cejudo's going to be humbled. I actually hope this fight happens. I hope this fight happens because I hope Cejudo gets torn.
I think that's the reason why I want it to happen. This. Oh, the table just breaks. Oh, you ever seen those Japanese tables that just don't break?
Someone the other day did something and it didn't break, and I was like, "Oh, that looked like it hurt more."
Dude, Japanese tables have like they're the worst because like they don't break. Like you see guys get smoked on their head and it's just like I don't know what the hell it is, man, but these things are just like tougher than nails. Oh, good old Sin Cara, broken finger.
So I wanted to talk before we get into the card that happened this past weekend. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Ortega Korean zombie beef. And what do you think about all this? Like, for me, Brian Ortega has always been, in my opinion, a super respectful competitor. He's been extremely calm. One of his things is that he won't promote fights. Like, he won't be an intentional antagonist. That was that was one of the reasons why his rise was so slow. Was he didn't do the things that McGregor would do or Holloway would do. He wouldn't call guys out, right? He just whoever the UFC gives me, right? So this is interesting to me. For me, this is kind of out of character, right?
Big time.
But I think it also speaks to there's another side of Ortega. There's the way he grew up. There's where he comes from. There's this mentality where it's like, no, you don't disrespect me, right? And if you do, you better be prepared to back it up. I think that might be his mentality coming into this. At the end of the day, you're assaulting an actor who can't touch you. Musician. Sorry, you're hitting a guy who can't defend himself against you. He can't. Not even if he tried, right? So if everything, so he openly admitted to hitting him.
Yep.
Ortega did, and his reasoning behind it was that
Ortega admitted to hitting him?
Yeah.
No, Korean Zombie hit Ortega's boy.
No.
Yes.
No, Ortega slapped Jay Park.
Jay Park is
Ortega's
boy.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. I'm reading Ortega's apology right now. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
It's Ortega.
Did I read Korean Zombie's statement? Whose statement did you send me?
Ortega's. Korean Zombie was ripping into Ortega.
Yeah.
Calling him out, saying that you need to bring up my name in order to be relevant anymore. And how dare you lay your hands on a singer instead of coming to me. You had opportunities to come to me. If you had smacked me, I wouldn't have cared. I would have said, okay, let's settle this in the octagon. Or I would have fought you right there and then. That was Korean Zombie's statement. I'm obviously paraphrasing.
So then I think about this whole thing backwards. I thought that Korean Zombie slapped up James Park.
No!
Jay Park, which then led to Ortega fucking losing his shit.
Jay Park is...
And that's why I was like, 100% I am behind Ortega
Jay Park
on this
is a
one.
Korean musician who's friends with...
I don't know who Jay Park is. I just heard the name Jay Park. And
Last
I was like,
name's
all right,
Park. It's the most common
cool.
Korean
His first name's
name.
Jay. J-A-Y.
Oh my goodness.
Can't be any more whiter than that unless it's Jason. Spelled J-A-S-O-N. Got to clarify on that one.
This guy. But yeah, Ortega.
Oh, okay, yeah. So okay.
He's now apologized 3 times. So now he's
a Korean rapper.
His third apology he just posted 4 hours ago. He's dealing with his pride. As a human, he's flawed. My coaches have always taught me that martial arts are to empower the weak against the strong. On Saturday, that didn't happen. So when I did that, it didn't happen. I made a mistake. I apologize to Jay Park for my actions. I apologize to Korean. So he's now flat out apologizing. The first statement that I saw from him was basically, don't talk crap unless you want to get slapped. Right?
Yeah.
Paraphrasing, of course. But that was the first statement. So this statement's a little bit better.
Oh, okay. So I just found it. So the statement that I had read was actually from Korean Zombie. I thought it was from Ortega, so I fucked that up. But that was talking about how he sat 10 meters away from him, didn't do anything, and then when
waited for him to walk away and then smacked Jay Park.
Wow, I mean that's pretty bitch of Ortega.
Which is really disappointing to me because I'm a big Ortega fan.
So on both sides, when I thought it was Zombie, I was like, what the hell? That's I love Zombie.
Yeah.
And
then
I was like, Ortega needs to fuck him up. Now, Zombie needs to fuck him up.
Yeah, Zombie's always been super respectful as well, and always been a great.
That's why I was so, I think that's probably why I didn't understand what the whole situation was.
They're the same though.
Exactly.
They've both been for the majority of their careers upstanding citizens.
Yes.
Friggin' Korean Zombie had to leave the UFC for 2 years because of his obligation as a Korean citizen. He had to serve in the military. Mm-hmm. And then he came back to a triumphant applause when he returned, and he has been a great fighter ever since. And he's been super respectful his whole career.
Yeah.
Ortega's the same way. He's never badmouthed a competitor. He's always been the nicest guy.
Very humble in defeat.
Super humble in defeat. Super respectful in post-fight interviews. I thought there's no way these two guys could have beef, and now they do. Hopefully, this is a good apology from Ortega. I skimmed through it, but he's directly addressing Park and apologizing for his actions, and then he directly says something to Korean Zombie apologizing for his actions. So I like that. Dragging your friend into an equation that should have started and ended with us. I apologize. So I like this. I like the apology. The action should have never happened.
No, 100%.
But it's a good apology. What do you think are the... what's the end result of something like this?
The end result should be an assault charge. I'm not... That's the truth.
I think it'll be...
Is that not assault?
It is.
Assault. It should be an assault charge.
It'll probably end with battery.
It'll be a misdemeanor.
And I imagine Jay Park making some money off this.
I don't know.
Because he'll sue him.
Maybe.
Or maybe who knows?
Maybe it's just going to be, you know what, heat of the moment, whatever mistakes happen, cool. I'm going to forgive him for it. Done. I don't know about that situation. Do I even want to see this fight at this point? No.
So I do, because they're two incredible fighters.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, that's how much respect I've lost for Ortega at this point. Then.
So they were supposed to fight already.
Yep.
The fight was booked, and then Ortega had to pull out. Ortega's biggest reason for defending himself, his words, were the fact that basically, apparently Jay Park was saying you only pulled out to avoid the fight, calling him out, saying like you faked an injury.
It's a fucking citizen. It doesn't matter,
right? I know. I agree. But I think that both men have some fuel going into the fire, and Ortega's ranked 3rd. Korean Zombie's ranked 5th in the featherweight division. Mm-hmm. If Volkanovski's fighting Cejudo, Max Holloway and Megamind Shapirov are the only other guys.
So Megaman needs that title fight in my opinion.
Well,
that contender fight at least.
Megaman needs to fight Holloway.
Yeah.
And Ortega should fight Zombie.
So here's my thing with it. Okay, so Khabib faced, what was it, a 1-year suspension? Was it 1 year or 6, 10, 8? I think it was a 1-year suspension.
Well, his suspension
was because of the whole melee and jumping over the cage and kicking.
It was also only in Vegas.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
He was only suspended in Vegas.
Are you sure?
That's why they fought in Abu Dhabi. That's why he fought Poirier in Abu Dhabi.
I thought the suspension was over by that time. Maybe I'm wrong.
And also,
I do think that Ortega should be suspended. I think the UFC needs to take some action because of that. Like that's like
yeah.
What precedent are you setting that you can go around and just smack civilians in the face?
I agree.
I don't get like, dude, fans are gonna talk shit. That's what we do realistically. We talk shit. So does that make it okay for these guys to hit me in the face? Yeah, I probably shouldn't run my mouth. If I run my mouth on the street, I'm gonna get slapped the fuck up 100%. But at the same time, this is inside a professional environment. These are professional fighters. Does that make it okay? Not necessarily. Oh, over goes Matt Hardy. And down.
Is that Justin Gabriel?
Yeah. I do think there's also that line, like, you know, you see in the NBA where like fans grabbing players and shit like that. I think if a fan grabs a player, that player has the right to smack him in the face. Jay Park didn't touch him.
Also,
there's that fine line where it's like, okay, self-defense or just...
Also, NBA, the player in that altercation is not a professional fighter.
Yes.
It's a little bit different for someone who is literally trained to hurt someone with their bare hands.
I get that.
To hurt somebody with their bare hands.
I get that, but at the same time, if you were grabbing at me, my only assumption can be that you were trying to injure me. You were trying to harm me.
Right.
So in turn, I'm going to defend myself.
Yeah.
I knock your block off and knock your block off.
Yeah, but a UFC fighter also has...
I'm not saying like ground and pound, pummel the shit out of them.
A UFC fighter also has an expectation that you are so well trained, and this guy was so tiny. This Jay Park's also a very small person.
Yeah, sorry, I just saw a picture of him. He's very tiny.
You are physically more superior to him, and you are higher trained than him. So your responsibility in that situation is, even if Jay was to attack him, is to disengage and diffuse, not to.
Well, okay, so I mean, at the end of the day, Ortega engaged.
Yes.
Sorry, Ortega initiated. I wouldn't even say engage. He initiated that whole conflict.
He initiated the physical aspect.
Yeah, well,
not the.
That's what we're talking about, right? So I think he should be suspended. It takes away, like, I don't care to see that Ortega Korean Zombie fight.
So I still want to see
I've lost so much respect for Ortega.
It doesn't matter. The respect doesn't change his record. The respect doesn't change his rank. The respect doesn't change that he's a legitimate contender, that he's one of the best fighters in the division, and the respect doesn't change that he's ranked above Zombie.
You're right. I still don't care to see it, though. I don't think that he deserves that. I don't think he deserves that.
It's not about deserving it. His record deserves. After he's done with his suspension, he will still be the number 3 ranked fighter in the division.
No, he won't.
Yes.
After his suspension, no, he will not.
Yes. Who's he lost to?
After his suspension, he will. Like, if he gets suspended for, call it 6 months, a year, whatever, his rank's going to drop because he's not fighting.
He won't be suspended that long.
What's he going to get? A 3-month suspension? He's not going to fight in 3 months anyway.
Yeah. Well, he was supposed to fight.
Supposed to. That also fell through.
Soon. But yeah, he'll probably get like a 3-month suspension.
We'll see.
They'll make him miss fight week.
Do you think Conor McGregor didn't get shit for throwing a fucking dolly through a bus window and injuring 6-7 fighters?
He had some criminal charges.
What did the UFC do? Not a damn thing.
Because they let the law take care of him.
But he didn't get suspended. There was nothing that came of that. On the UFC's portion of things, there was nothing that came of that.
He didn't get suspended for a
No.
year?
He didn't get anything from the UFC.
I know.
He went through all the legal stuff for it.
The UFC also didn't suspend Khabib. Nevada State Athletic Commission suspended Khabib.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so the athletic commission should have suspended the thing. I forgot. The UFC doesn't suspend anybody.
I think Nevada did suspend Conor.
I don't think so. I don't think he faces suspension for it.
I know both.
Yeah, I know he went through legal ramifications.
Habib's entourage actually had the worst punishment because their visas were revoked.
Oh yeah,
that was the biggest punishment, right?
His brother also is facing a 6-year suspension. Yeah, 6 years. Yeah, they threw a sucker punch.
They lost the opportunity to fight in America, so they can't even be UFC fighters anymore.
Well, UFC, Bellator. Yeah. Basically they're going to go either Ryzen or...
So, like, their careers were ruined.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Don't want to dwell on that too much. So, let's go over the card that just happened this weekend. So, on the undercard, was there any fight that you wanted to go over?
No, because I didn't actually get a chance to watch the prelims, unfortunately.
Okay. So,
I didn't get a chance to go back and watch it.
There's a couple things worth bringing up.
Sorry, actually, there's one fight I did see that was Sean O'Malley. And Sean O'Malley looked great.
Okay, so we'll start with O'Malley.
Great returning.
So he was the main event of the prelims. I did not realize he had been off for 2 friggin' years.
That's why I was so pumped about it.
Didn't feel like it was that long.
It never does anymore.
I felt like I just saw him.
Well, yeah. Because realistically, at the end of the day, he's probably, in those 2 years, he's missed 2 fights, right? Like he probably fights twice a year.
I'd say he's missed 4 fights, maybe even 5.
In those 2, I don't know.
He was a highly touted contender coming out of the Dana White Contender Series. He was being pushed.
O'Malley?
Yes.
O'Malley didn't come out of the Contender Series.
Yes, he did.
O'Malley was a Ultimate Fighter.
No, he wasn't.
O'Malley was
Look it up. He won the Dana White Contender Series. That's how he got his UFC contract. Sugar Sean. But you know how I know that? Because Snoop Dogg was covering the fight with Uriah Faber. Snoop Dogg is the one that's like, oh, that's my guy, Sugar Sean.
Why did I think that he was a part of Ultimate Fighter?
I don't know. Who do you think was his coach?
I don't remember what season it was. Dude, there's been way too many now.
Okay,
I can't name the last 5 coaches.
So after he won the Contender Series, and after
wasn't he? Wait, he was the first one off the Contender Series, wasn't he?
Well, he was one of the first crop.
Well, because there was Mickey Gall.
Yeah.
There was Northcutt. Sorry.
Sage. Yeah.
And then I think it was him.
No, he was a little bit after them.
Was he?
I think he might even have been season 2.
Maybe I don't know.
Either way, he was. That's where he came from. That was his hype. His hype was he had a really good fight in the Contender Series, and Snoop Dogg loved him. Like, those were his 2 hypes. It was like, here's this marketable guy because Snoop Dogg loves him, and he calls himself Sugar Sean and had a great post-fight interview. And then he won his first fight in the UFC. I think he choked the guy out. And after the fight, once again, Sugar Sean O'Malley, da-da-da-da-da. He had a great post-fight interview there, too.
I'm going to throw a quick time on this because they just released Mark Cuban's reaction to the season being suspended. He lost his shit, understandably so. Then he went on to say that we're going to put together a program for hourly workers after NBA suspension. Kudos Mark Cuban for that. That's fucking cool.
You're going to put in a program for what?
For hourly NBA employees.
Good for him.
That's awesome.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Hopefully the rest of the league follows suit.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's really cool. That's really cool. It's really great to see that someone's doing that for them.
Back to the UFC.
Sorry, I just want to take a minute and recognize
Sean
that.
O'Malley
awesome.
looked amazing. I don't like the face tattoos, but other than that, he looked really good.
I don't give a shit.
Oh, that's stupid.
It's stupid, but fucking whatever.
You were already marketable.
I don't think you guys would be marketable with those things. Like, it's just like, yo, he's what, 24, 25? Just trying to live his life.
Dumb.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not fine.
Whatever, he'll learn. He can laser them off at this point. It's fine. Like I said, it was great to see him back. I still think he's got a ways away to go before he's a champion. What I really liked out of him was it was a new Sean O'Malley. Same dominance, same performer, but that post fight, he seemed a little more humbled. He wasn't as cocky. Humble. Yeah, like it was great to see, and I was like, that's cool.
He was like, I'm finally back, and I'm not here to play games anymore.
Yeah, he looked great. Don't ask questions. It's the WWE. Don't ask questions. It's fake. It's fake. That was a fake cello.
And to hit him with the strings first.
But it was fake. It was a fake cello. It doesn't matter.
Cello.
Go Titus. Okay. Go Titus.
Yeah, I liked his performance. I liked his post-fight interview. Yep. I thought he was actually respectful.
Yes.
He was a good guy in the post-fight interview. Him and Joe Rogan get along awkwardly well. He said, "I love you, Joe Rogan," was the last thing he said in the mic. I'm interested in what comes next for Sean O'Malley. What new news did you just read?
No, just the NHL is contemplating following in the footsteps of the NBA,
as they should.
So,
Sean O'Malley's a bantamweight. The bantamweight division isn't that deep.
Nope.
Let's say, is he already ranked? No. Okay. So I would say he's not far away from getting a fight with a ranked fighter. And if he wins that fight, he'll start moving into that conversation. So I don't think we're that far away from a Sean O'Malley title shot.
But who is that contender he fights?
He didn't call out anybody.
Nope. Does he fight another tattooed one?
Who?
Cody.
Garbrandt?
Yeah.
Where's Cody ranked? Is Cody even ranked? No, it's not ranked.
Again, it's the UFC. What do rankings really matter in the UFC?
They do matter.
They don't. Not in the UFC. No, they do not.
They do matter.
Not stop.
They do matter.
Okay, you know what? Give him...
Rankings do matter.
No, they don't. In the UFC, rankings do not matter.
They do matter.
Then why is Jose Aldo getting a title?
Because he's ranked.
He's ranked what? In bantamweight?
He's ranked 4th in bantam.
How?
I don't know. He's ranked 4th.
Please explain to me how.
He's ranked 4th.
Okay, cool, fine. Rankings are fucking random. What? What do you want to call them? He's ranked 4th. First of all, you're ranked 4th. You should not be getting a title fight.
A few guys have gotten title fights that are ranked 4th. Many people, actually.
That's great. Does that mean it should happen?
Wasn't Bisping ranked 4th when he got his title shot and won?
Probably.
Knocked out Rockhold?
Where was Anthony Smith ranked?
Probably 4th.
If not, he was ranked 3rd. Dominic Cruz? Cruz is ranked under Anthony Smith, actually.
Dominic Reyes.
Why did I say Cruz?
Dominic Reyes was ranked, I think, 2nd coming into that fight. And the only guy ranked above... Dominic Reyes is now the 2nd ranked. The only guy above Dominic Reyes in rankings was Thiago Santos at the time, I believe. But yeah, I don't see Sugar Sean being too far from contendership. If I was Sugar Sean, I would not want to fight Cody right now.
Hold on, you said Sugar Sean fought at bantam?
Yeah.
The UFC doesn't have him listed.
He's not ranked, that's why. He's not ranked.
Interesting.
Yeah. That fight.
So then, does he even like bother fighting a top 10? Does he fight maybe Jaw Dodson?
That'd be a great fight. I'm into that fight. Book that fight today.
I'd rather see him fight number 9 at Cody Garbrandt then.
Cody ranked?
Yeah, Cody's ranked at 9.
Where do you see that?
Jimmy Rivera 8.
So I have Rivera.
So I have Jose Aldo at 6 in bantamweight.
I have Rivera at 9, and I have Rob Font at 10.
I have Rob Font at 10 as well.
I don't have Cody in the top 10. I have Sandigan.
And I have Jose at 6.
Sandigan's at 11 here?
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyways,
so like I said, rankings don't really fucking mean shit.
Regardless, clearly. If I'm Sean O'Malley, I don't want to fight Cody. That's the wrong matchup for him right now.
But as a fan, I want to see him fight Cody.
Sure, next, like after. I want him to fight Dodson first.
He doesn't have to fight Dodson, though.
I'd like that fight more. Dodson's coming off a win. He's coming off a win. Dodson just moved back up to bantamweight.
I will agree with the fact that if rankings meant something in the UFC, then that fight makes sense. But they don't. So it doesn't.
I still think they make...
Actually, at the end of the day, I think it would make more sense for Dodson to fight Garbrandt.
Okay. I like that fight, too. I'm fine with that fight.
Also, I don't think one fight in bantamweight should put you within the top 10. But
who's that? Who are you talking about?
Dodson.
Well, Dodson was a long-term bantamweight fighter. Dotson went down only to try and compete with Demetrius.
Yeah.
Dotson's supposed to be fighting at bantamweight. That's his division.
Dodson's a tiny man, though.
Dotson has a very hard time making fly.
Does he?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like...
Yeah, he does. He's talked about it openly. How he only went down to that division because he thought he could win a belt in that division. At the time, I think the bantamweight champion was...
TJ and Dominic Cruz and...
Henan Barao when he went down.
When he went down?
When he went down.
You're right. Yes, actually, you're right. Yes, it was Henan during that time. Gee, I forgot how long ago that was.
Yeah. Wait, Henan... Did I just see a poop emoji on...
Yeah, I don't know. We're not listening to it, so I couldn't tell you why that happened.
That threw me off completely. Anyways.
Were you saying everyone shit? Was that what you're trying to imply there?
Apparently. So, I want to talk about some more things on this card. Before we get to the real main event, I'll preface that. Vieira looked good. Good middleweight contender. Let's see what comes from him. I was really impressed with his fight. Mershashart versus Win.
Just before we go any further, I just want you to know, are we talking main card or prelim still?
Still prelims.
Okay, go ahead.
Mershashart versus Win. That was actually an entertaining fight. Mm-hmm. Mershashart wins with a rear naked choke. Good for him. He kind of gutted it out there, so I like that. He's a name that's been around for a while, but has never really established a consistency. Going into the main card, Cowboy versus Max Griffin. Cowboy Oliveira, that is.
So that was the only fight in the main card I actually got wrong.
Okay. It was a split decision.
Yep.
So you had Max winning that fight.
I had Max win by knockout, actually.
Oh, you mean predicting?
Yeah.
I thought you meant you scored it wrong.
No.
Okay.
No. I got everybody else right. My predictions were all correct, except for that fight. Just so you're aware. Because then there's the next fight that I really want to touch base on a little bit with you.
My guy Lee.
Yo, your guy Lee.
I'd never heard of him before. I just chose him because he's my guy Lee.
I know, I get that. I know you've never seen him fight before.
Neil Magny beat him up.
Yo, Neil Magny. So round 1, I scored a 10-9 for Magny. Round 2 and 3 was a 10-8, and that 10-9 was being kind of generous. Like I was like, that could have pushed a 10.
Where was this? Oh, it was in Vegas, so they could have done 10-8 rounds. They didn't.
Oh, they did. They did 10-8 rounds. Rounds 2 and 3 were both scored. I'm pretty sure it was round 2 and 3 were both scored 10-8.
Unanimous decision, 30-27 for all 3 judges.
Was it 30-27?
Yeah.
I thought it was 30-25.
No. Unanimous decision, 30-27, all 3 judges.
Okay, well, I scored at 30-25 because I got dominated.
He did school him. He outclassed him.
Buddy.
It's clear who the experienced fighter is and who the guy... To be honest, they kind of disrespected Magny by putting him in that fight. And also, I couldn't believe that Lee was the favorite. When you watch that fight, you're like, how was Lee the favorite going into that fight?
So Pelicans Kings game was postponed because the players don't want to play. Basketball. That was tonight's game.
Okay,
that was supposed to play still. Sorry.
Benil Dariush, Dakar Close. This was a sick fight.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was going to be a good fight coming in.
Yep.
Personally, would have rather seen Shabazian, but that's me.
I agree, actually. I would have rather seen that Shabazian fight.
Dariush Close was a good fight. Probably would have won fight of the night if it wasn't for the real main event.
Yeah. We're going to call the real main event just what turned out to be the main event.
That's what I mean. Dariush ultimately wins the fight, but Close looked good. Both of these guys swinging for the friggin' fences.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Not necessarily the greatest strategy.
And Close learned that the hard way.
Yeah. But Close has been on the other end of that before. He won a slug match that he probably shouldn't have won in the past. So
yep.
he knows from experience, you always got a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Don't really know what's going to come of either one of these guys. I wouldn't consider either one of them a true contender. The lightweight division is too good for either one of them to be a contender. That's just my personal opinion.
I can see them eventually both of them getting a title shot, to be honest.
Title shots?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
For me, that there's too many heavy hitters in that division.
I agree, but I still see like it's always that fluke knockout win that gets somebody a title shot, right?
But like, so let me just, who in this division? I'm gonna name like the top, from 10 to 3. Who can they beat? Diego Ferreira.
They could beat him.
I don't think so. Kevin Lee.
They could beat him.
Ali Aquinta.
They could beat him.
Charles Oliveira.
Beat him.
Paul Felder.
Beat him.
Dan Hooker.
Beat him.
Justin Gaethje.
Beat him.
And Dustin Poirier.
Beat him.
They can't beat any of them.
Here's why I say beat him.
Why?
All it takes is a fluke.
But
it takes a fluke shot to win.
There won't be flukes against those elite fighters.
You say that until it happens.
The only guy I can see them beating, and it actually hurts my feelings to say it out loud, is Paul Felder.
Okay, so
Paul Felder did not look good in his last fight. Paul Felder looked like somebody who was...
Well, you said you don't think Paul Felder's going to come back.
So I do now.
Okay.
I do now. After the fight, Paul Felder basically said, I'm retiring.
Yeah. No, he said he was retiring. He didn't say basically. He
and
said
then,
he's done.
And then since has kind of retracted those statements.
Yeah.
Once you've already admitted defeat and you've kind of decided for yourself that you don't have much of a future in the ring, I think you doom yourself. So from a sports psychologist perspective, I don't see him winning again. Unless he's facing someone he is clearly better than, like someone who has no business being in the octagon with him.
No, I can see him coming back.
I don't. I think he's out. I think he's mentally out.
I think he's mentally out. I think he mentally can come back though.
I don't know. We'll see. He defeated himself at the end of that fight in the post-fight interview. To me, he determined his next 2 fights and how he's going to retire. So that's my personal opinion. But I'm still not a big fan, or I don't see a big future for Dariush or Klose. Not that I don't like either one of them, but I just don't see them accomplishing much.
I guess to each their own in that situation. Like I said, obviously I don't agree with you. But I like both fighters. At the end of the day, here's the thing: is I don't see them realistically like long haul contenders. No.
The thing is, they're not that young either.
No.
There's
like,
guys above them that are younger than them.
I can see one of them getting like a fight within like the top 5 next, and then they win, and then they get the 5th spot, and then somehow they get a title shot at ranked 5.
They'd be lucky to get Diego Ferreira.
Well,
he's 10th. They'd be lucky to get him.
Again, wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean,
Kevin Lee's too big for either one of them. He's too big of a star.
I think Kevin Lee's about to get humbled.
Who's he fighting next?
Charles Oliveira.
So I think Kevin Lee's going to knock out Charles.
Let me rephrase that. I don't think he's going to get humbled. I think he's going to get fucking submitted real quick. I think it's going to be just as cocky as I don't like Kevin Lee.
I don't like Kevin Lee either, at all.
So wait a second. You don't think that Charles Oliveira can submit Kevin Lee?
I think he can. I don't think he will.
I think he will.
I think...
I'm winning
both
that.
Oliveras,
I have him winning that first round.
Both Oliveras are past their prime.
I don't think Charles is.
I do.
I don't.
I
don't think that Kevin Lee's as good as he thinks he is.
I have Kevin Lee winning by knockout.
Okay. Have you made your picks yet on the verdict app yet?
No, I don't even know if I downloaded the app.
Why didn't you download the app? Download the app. Make your picks.
This guy.
I got Oliveira first round submission.
Okay, I'll make the picks.
Thank you.
Main event on paper was Adesanya Romero.
Co-main event.
Yeah.
Co-main event. I wouldn't call it the co-main event, to be honest
That
with you.
was one of the worst title matches I've seen in a long time. And it wasn't necessarily because of action.
It was because of a lack of action.
Right. That's not the entire reason I hated it. I also couldn't stand that. So a lot of people are going after Adesanya for not chasing the knockout. But Romero, he took a beating on that leg and didn't do anything to stop it. Mm-hmm. So it bothers me when I watch a fight and I think to myself, why do you think you're winning? Like, who is telling you you're doing good? Who's telling you, yeah, you're in this? Like, so I see how I scored it. So I forgot about my little remarks I wrote here. It was good. I agreed with myself. So round 1, the crowd lost that round. Round 2, we all lost that round. Round 3, boring, pointless. Those were my notes.
So far, you're right. So far, you're dead on.
So depending on how you... So this first round is almost impossible to score.
I gave it a 10-10.
There was 4-3.
I gave it a 10-10.
Strikes. Just because of where he was in the octagon, I gave advantage Yoel. He happened to be in the middle of the octagon more than Israel.
So you gave him based on the octagon control.
Purely.
I gave octagon control to Romero. I gave Adesanya the aggression. And I just called it a 10-10 because at the end of the day, it was like you said, 4 strikes to 3. I think that Yoel's was a little more effective. But like I'm watching and I'm just like, I don't even know what the fuck to like call this. So I went 10-10. And the worst part is like I put 10-10 in. Right after I put 10-10, Joe Rogan's like, I'd score that 10-10. And I was like, all right, thanks, Joe. Like, way to confirm my pick there.
Yeah. So that first round, if I had to choose a winner, I would have chosen Yoel.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to do. I like to force myself to choose a winner.
See, the thing is you can't do that, though. Because that's how you can end up blowing. Round
2, I actually had scored for Yoel as well.
Really?
Yeah. Israel got shook in that round. Yoel landed. I can't even remember what he landed, but I just remember
that was the heavy hook.
I just remember Israel backpedaling, eyes wide. Oh crap! After that hit landed, though, the whole fight got even worse because Israel started fighting from even more distance and
just worked the leg kicks.
Yeah,
I think that's why I gave him round 2 was like, yeah, he got rocked. But like he started working leg kicks. He started.
My concern is how do I score leg kicks? How do I score leg kicks?
Well, when it's the only strikes that are being thrown.
Right, but what was the most effective strike?
That was the most effective strike.
I would say the hook was.
That was one strike.
Yeah,
one strike.
Yeah. It was the only significant strike.
Where Adesanya continuing to work those leg kicks. Yeah, but you can't base it off one significant strike.
Yeah, so it's odd to me. Like the scoring system is odd because
I would say that Adesanya's leg strikes or leg kicks were very effective in the long haul.
But what did it hinder Yoel from doing?
Well, he wasn't moving, so it didn't matter.
Exactly.
Like that's.
It didn't change the fight, is what I'm saying.
Maybe it did. Maybe Yoel decided, hey, you know what? 4th round, I'm gonna come alive. Like I don't know.
It was painful. I wish this wasn't a 5-round fight.
No, I wish it was just a fight.
So,
I wish it was the fight that we anticipated it to be.
Round 3, I had scored for Israel.
Yep.
And I also noted Bray Wyatt's fans are here. I see fireflies. They had their cameras up.
Oh dear Lord.
Dan. Who the hell's Dan?
Me.
You?
I'm Dan.
No, someone else. I wrote Dan.
You wrote me.
Dan said, give the judges something to score. Dan Mergliotta. Yes, that's who. Who the fuck is Dan? So Dan Mergliotta is the ref for the fight. And he actually tells the guys before the round starts, you got to give the judges something to score. Joe Rogan hated this. Hated that he made this statement. Dan Cormier hated that he made this statement. I don't blame Dan Mergliotta. He's in there like, guys, you're 2 of the best fighters in the world, and you look like chumps.
Like that's scared of each other,
right? That's like, and Dan Mergliotta probably respects both of these guys to a degree where he's like, man, do something, right? So he tells him to do something. Israel did something. Israel looked like he won that 4th round. Yep. So at this point, I had it tied going into the 5th.
Okay.
Did you score any of Yoel's takedowns as actual takedowns?
No.
Yeah, so At first I did.
I mean, like, I really wanted to because I was like, cool, that's the most effective thing that's been done all around.
Yeah. So at first I did. At first I was like, oh, that's a takedown. But then watching it back, I was like, no, he got up immediately. Like, there was no control whatsoever. It was like trip, stand up.
Yep.
To me, that's not a takedown. It's like landing a significant strike. You didn't rock him. Right? You didn't take him down.
I would say like a love tap of a jab is more effective than some of those takedowns were. I think it's what it is.
So because of that, at the first point when I first scored it, I actually scored it Yoel for the 5th round. But then I thought to myself, there's no way you give the belt to Yoel after that performance. There's no way. And
well, you can't because there's not a definitive winner there.
I also, because of the way they judge in the UFC and how they don't have to submit their cards after every round, I think that they sat back and they said, total fight-wise, Israel did more damage. Israel seemed like he was in more control. So no matter how they actually scored that 5th round, I think they gave it to Israel regardless.
Which I think is fair.
Yeah. So I think
it's very fair.
I think that's how Israel ends up the winner. That's just my mentality going into it.
Like I said, I'd round 1 as 10-10, round 2, 3, and 4 for Israel, and then round 5 for
what were the final numbers?
I don't remember.
Oh, they're here.
Yeah,
48-47, 48-47, 49-46. I had scored 48-47.
I think I had 49-47.
Yeah. So I had it scored 48-47. So all the refs.
Yeah, I had 49-47.
All the judges did give.
10-10.
All the judges did give Yoel 2 rounds.
If I could honestly score like every round in that fight a 7 for both fighters, I probably would.
But 2 thumbs down.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Leaving that fight, all I want to see is Costa. I want to see Costa Adesanya.
I think we just put the belt on Costa and just call him champion at this
Oh
point.
my goodness.
What? Like it was that bad?
I understand, but he's still a champ. He still has to fight somebody. So I got Costa Adesanya as the fight I got to see, and genuinely looking forward to that fight. As much as Adesanya, that was horrible. As much as Adesanya bothered me, and that fight bothered me, and I'm just gonna forget it ever happened. Like the Ngannou Derek Lewis fight.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Adesanya Costa can be an incredible war. I still think that can be a great fight. So that's the fight that I need to see coming out of this. And I'm going to do what you did to me, and I'm going to let you talk to yourself for a little bit.
Oh, here we go. You guys are going to make me do this now. I guess payback's a bitch. I'm going right after you, eh? Hello, people. I guess I have to look at the camera for this portion of the show. So, I mean, for me personally, like I said, I'm excited for the possibility of Darren Till versus Whitaker. I think at this point, when you have a garbage man like that, you just kind of make that for the interim and call it what it is, because neither of those guys should be champions, in my opinion. Hey, I mean, like, I'm very surprised that Yoel even made weight. I was very open about how I didn't think he was going to make weight, and lo and behold, kind of surprised me, he made weight. I mean, it took him till the 9th hour in the or the 12th hour in the early weigh-ins there, but do I think that anyone's really surprised by that? No. I mean, the guy should be definitely fighting at light heavyweight. There's no question about it. He's more of a 205 fighter. I think he'd actually do a lot better in that division too. So, man, I actually feel bad for Josh now. This is kind of awkward. I'm just like having a conversation with myself right now. Like, I don't know if I respond to myself or what I do. I can give you a description of what I'm watching right now. I'm watching Stephanie McMahon try to do a spinneroonie. Oh, there's CM Punk in his underwear, posing for the spinneroonie. Huh?
What are you talking about?
Well, I was just talking about how I didn't think Yoel was going to make weight, and then I started talking about CM Punk in his underwear doing the spinneroonie.
Oh, there was a moment in that fight where I was like, oh, here it is. he got poked in the eye. This is how it's going to end.
Yeah. You calling the DQ, like, I was like, oh, I'm not surprised that this actually happens here. Fuck, man.
I was like, he's going to use this. He's going to say, oh, I can't continue.
Yeah.
I can't see him striking from that side. So, obviously, WWE rules aside, if you are DQ'd and you're the champion, do you lose your belt?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Not really.
Well, gives the guy a cop-out. Picture if the Diego Sanchez fight, where he copped out, was a title match. And Diego was like, yeah, no. And then Diego won the title because of it. Holy!
No, so this is the thing, though, is the UFC would probably just reverse it to a no contest.
Can they do that?
Yeah.
They can reverse, company. But it's not a company decision, though.
What do you mean?
It's the athletic commission determines the winner. The company.
That's right. The company can then turn around and call it a no contest, though.
Okay, and then take the belt off.
So think back to Greg Hardy.
Okay.
Greg Hardy was allowed to use his inhaler. The athletic commission approved him using the inhaler. He won that fight. The UFC turned around and was like, no contest. It's a performance enhancer. We're not going to give it to him.
Right.
So the UFC called it a no contest.
I thought that was the athletic commission.
No. The athletic commission approved him using it. He even asked the athletic commission that was sitting in the octagon, he's like, can I use my inhaler? And he's like, yeah.
I thought it was... No. Didn't the ref call it no contest?
No.
Oh, I thought it was the ref.
No, Greg Hardy won the fight. And then afterwards, Dana White's like, that's like, no. Like, that's
but Dana White,
a performance enhancer.
Dana White also did say, they told him yes. So we don't blame him for using it.
No, he said he didn't blame him, but
they know but he knows the rules and he knows he can't use it. But they told him yes,
and then they turned it to a no contest.
Yeah, fair.
So
you think,
I think that's what would have happened.
You think if that Diego Sanchez fight was a title match, that he would have been awarded the belt, and then been considered a no contest, and the belt would have went right back to the original champion, or would it vacate the belt and then demanded rematch?
I don't know.
That would
be.
That'd be the only alternative.
We haven't run into this situation yet in the UFC, right?
So that's the only alternative I'm okay with. You vacate the belt because neither one of you won that fight, so neither one of you is the champion, and I need you guys to rematch for the actual. So winner.
This is the thing is I don't think that eye poke would not have been. That eye poke would have been a no contest. It wouldn't have been a DQ.
Really?
Yeah.
But if the ref says he can't continue,
it's not enough to call it an intentional eye poke, though.
Oh yeah,
right.
I see what you're saying. He would have kept the belt.
The knee on the so that would have been no contest. The knee on the ground, that would be a disqualification.
Yes.
The eye poke would be a no contest simply because there's not enough to say that it was an intentional illegal maneuver.
But wait, Poirier Alvarez eye poke wasn't a winner awarded in that?
Or
was that a no contest?
I think it was a no contest.
Okay.
I thought
a winner was awarded.
No.
Okay.
Your turn.
To be alone?
Yep.
I don't know why this happened to me twice.
I really need to, but I'm really not. It's time to play.
So, what can I go over with you guys? I'm going to go to my phone because this is what I do. I wake up every morning and I read sports news, and the last thing to do before I go to bed is read sports news. So let's see what new news has broken in sports. We're going to get to Zhang Joanna, I promise. Will Kevin Lee emerge as a contender? Yeah. I have Kevin Lee winning that fight. On that card, we got Burns and Maia. Damian Maia, sorry. I got Burns winning that fight and Maia retiring. Moicano is going to win his fight against Hadzovic. He's incredible. Moicano is. Johnny Walker versus Nikita Krylov. That's going to be an interesting fight. I think Johnny Walker knocks Krylov out. Trinaldo versus Makadesky. Trinaldo's going to beat up Makadesky. Makadesky is just he's just become a human highlight reel for all the wrong reasons. He's the guy that everybody knocks out.
Who's getting knocked out left, right, and center?
MacDessie. Which is a shame, but I feel like that's going to be his legacy now. He's the guy that gets knocked out. It's like the tail end of Chuck Liddell's career. He was just the guy that everybody else knocked out.
Oh, that was such a sad.
He became a not a gatekeeper, but he became a. Oh, you're part of the Chuck Liddell Knockout Club. Welcome.
It wasn't even that. Like, it was just sad to watch.
Yeah, he should have retired early.
Yeah, he should have never fought Tito that last time. I don't know. That was just
basically after the Rashad Evans lost is when he should have hung his gloves up.
Yeah, and he just kind of like he hung on. I don't know, man. Like that is one of those situations where you just you wish somebody just stepped in and went, Chuck, no more. Like it's time.
Say it ain't so, Chuck.
Yeah, because it was bad.
Okay, the main event, the real main event.
Yes.
Possibly the main event of the year.
The fight of the year?
Already.
It's quite possible.
Could be. We'll see what happens. But could be. Especially if all the other fights get canceled.
We can get into that too if you really want to, but.
Okay. Zhang Joanna. First of all, after the fight, they called it the greatest women's martial arts match.
Of all time.
And I sat there and I thought about it. There's been better matchups, like on paper.
It's not matchups. We're not talking matchups, though.
I know.
Okay.
But like going into the fight, we would have thought Nunez Cyborg. Oh my God. We would have thought.
I wasn't surprised by that outcome.
I was hugely surprised. We would have thought Holm, Rousey.
I was surprised by that outcome, but I expected it to be a lot quicker than it was on the side of Rousey.
Right. We expected that to be a bigger fight.
Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey.
Tate Rousey had great storyline, great build because they hated each other. They coached against each other in the Ultimate Fighter. They had faced each other a few times. There was a lot going on there. So that was good for context. That was good for where is the UFC going. Rose versus Joanna. Rose versus Joanna was a crazy fight.
Yeah.
Rose won that fight.
There was a lot of build behind that fight.
That was super impressive. That was a super impressive card.
I think there was a lot of people that kind of underestimated Rose going into that fight, which is great.
That's why it was such a good fight.
I wouldn't call it a good fight.
It was until Rose finished it, but it was a great fight leading up to the finish.
It was a great build. I was excited. It wasn't a great fight overall. You take all the emotion out of what the build was.
I thought it was a great fight. Claudia versus Joanna. Great builds, not necessarily great fights. So when we consider all of these, and I'm sure there's more that I've forgotten about. There's Gina Carano and Cyborg. Like we could go back to Strikeforce. We could go to Invicta. But on the grandest stage of them all, so to say, the pinnacle of mixed martial arts. As a co-main event too, which Valentina Shevchenko Nunez. That's still there's something there.
It's lingering.
They fought before, right? That first fight. Those are two of the greatest women's mixed martial artists in the world. So I think that deserves a little bit more credit than people give it. This fight might be one of the best fights ever.
Yes.
Not just women's.
I don't give a shit about the build. Like that was. I'll call it.
So it had a good.
All the fights that I've seen, that was the best women's MMA fight I have ever seen.
So it actually had a good build. It had some legitimate heat coming into it. We had a villain in Joanna. We had a hero in Zhang.
I think we did until the weigh-ins. I think the weigh-ins changed everything.
I don't think so. At all. Because they shook hands?
Well, there was a lot more respect shown than just the shaking of the hands, really.
So, Joanna probably regrets the stupid thing she did.
Yeah. It was stupid.
Zhang didn't go to shake her hand at first because she wasn't expecting a handshake. And then when Joanna stuck her hand out, Zhang was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I didn't think you would want to shake my hand. That was the reaction Zhang gave. Zhang was not being rude at all. No. Zhang just didn't expect a handshake.
That's the type of fighter that she is, though. She's a very respectful fighter, right?
Yeah. Zhang is super respectful. Zhang's a martial artist at the end of the day, and which she told us in the
she's just like not a shitty human being,
right? But she's a martial artist too, which she told us in the post-fight interview.
I know
in several ways in her very excited translator. I'm too excited. I can't talk. This is your job. This is the whole reason you're here. Anyways.
He was able to show a lot more excitement than she was, though, because she was pretty banged up, too.
Yeah. So we had a hero. We had not just a hero for the bad guy, good guy context, but we had a hero because she's the first ever Chinese, let alone woman, but Chinese MMA champion in the UFC. That's huge because they're arguably the godfathers of martial arts is China, China, Japan, right? So when we think about that, we think, how did it take this long for there to be a Chinese world champion in the UFC? So kudos to her for that. She set the record straight.
Yeah.
Right? So I loved that coming in. Joanna being one of the greatest female fighters ever coming into the fight. Like, her resume speaks for itself. Definitely one of the best female strikers of all time.
Fair.
That was a cool storyline because this is Zhang. So Zhang beat Andrade, but Andrade, no one has ever considered Andrade one of the greatest.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, she was losing that fight until the slam against Rose.
Yes. Yes.
That was like, I had Rose winning that entire fight, and then she got slam knocked out, and I was like,
so Andrade, and I don't.
She was just a contender.
She's kind of a paper champion.
She was a contender. Yeah. She was a transitional champion.
She's a transitional champion. That's a more appropriate term. Because she was a legit champion. She was a real.
She
fighter.
won. She beat the champ. She won. She was a transitional champion. To Zhang. I mean, for me, the story in that was, it's Zhang, who everyone is or a lot of people are viewing as, the next torch carrier for that division, facing off against the previous torch carrier, because Rose never really got a chance to carry that torch, right? Realistically, she beat Joanna for the belt, and then she beat Joanna again. Yeah. And then she lost to Andrade.
Rose never fought Claudia for the belt?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. It was that was it, and then
because Andrade beat Claudia.
Yes.
For the opportunity.
Yes. Okay. So she went into Andrade from there, and then Andrade won. Now, do I think that had Andrade not won that belt, I think it would have been Rose versus Zhang. Either way, I think that would have happened. Minus the whole Conor McGregor incident,
which is a fight I still want to see.
Yes, 100%. Now people are going to say that the next fight that should be Joanna again. Do I necessarily disagree with that? In an instance like this, where this fight was actually very competitive, was quite close, do I necessarily disagree with it? No. But at the same time, she lost. I had her losing on the card. Obviously, the judges had her losing on the card.
I had her losing.
But do I think that after all this time off, that it's fair that Rose comes back and gets a title shot right away? No, not
Rose coming back?
I believe so. Okay. No, yeah, she is. She's fighting Andrade.
Excellent.
She's fighting Andrade at 249. She's the co-main. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I knew that.
Excellent.
I knew that.
So
I do. So I do like that. I do like the fact that those two not to fight again. I do think the winner gets the shot.
Yeah, and I think Rose wins that fight.
I hope so. I hope. Well, I don't know.
Zhang, Joanna, do they have medical suspensions? I'm assuming.
I'm pretty sure they both do.
Probably considerable.
Okay, I'm going to say I'm pretty sure they both do.
Probably considerable amount of time.
Yes.
I would say Joanna won't be the next fight because Joanna's suspension is going to be longer.
I think she'll be like a year. I didn't even look at it yet. It's probably been released actually. Let's just take a peek here and see if I can find it.
I think her medical suspension will be quite lengthy.
I would say 10 to a year at this point.
I also think Joanna's the type of fighter. She's cerebral. She's not going to want to get back in there as soon as she can. She's going to take her time with it. She's going to work on the things that she thinks she needs to improve on before she comes back. I think Zhang will have a title defense before Joanna's ready to fight her again. But I do think Joanna's next fight is for the belt. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. I think Zhang will fight again, but Joanna's next fight is for the belt.
I won't agree with that because if Zhang fights the winner of Andrade and Rose,
which will happen when are they fighting?
249. They're on the next main card.
Okay, so when is this? April
4th, something like that.
So midsummer, Zhang will fight.
I'd say late summer.
Late summer.
Well,
sure.
here, let's just see here. So
Zhang will fight the winner.
She's suspended until May 5th with no contact until April 22nd. Zhang.
Perfect. She'll fight in the summer.
Yeah. Oh wow.
That's not a long suspension.
Joanna's only suspended until May 5th with no contact until April 22nd.
That blows my mind. Joanna will be away longer than that.
Well, she probably got the chemo drained out, right?
Yeah, but she'll still be away longer than that. This is going to change how she approaches fights.
Maybe not. Did it really change the approach? Did it change the approach of how she fought when she fought against Rose the first time?
Yeah.
I still she was the same fighter.
Oh, I think she's changed. I think she's way less of an attacker. She is far more a point fighter now than she ever was. She used to swarm girls. That was her thing. She'd swarm the crap out of them. And it was... she'd... you know the scene in Dragon Ball Z where they move their hands so fast and they're going up and down the body? That was her.
I was like, you don't want to watch Dragon Ball Z, but now I know what you're talking about at least.
Right, that was her thing. She just swarmed them with strikes. So I see her being off for a while. I think Zhang's next fight is the winner of Andrade Rose. And then I think whoever wins that faces Joanna for the belt. That's my prediction for that division. How did you score the fight? I wanted to know if we scored it the same. So I did round 1 Zhang.
Let me see here. Okay, round 1 I did 10-9 Zhang.
I did round 2 Joanna.
I did round 2 10-9 Zhang.
I did round 3 Joanna.
I did round 3 10-9 Joanna.
And then I did rounds 4 and 5 Zhang.
I did 4 Joanna, 5 Zhang.
Okay. 4 Joanna.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I think she was more effective, landed more strikes.
She had the hardest shot of the fight was in the 4th round for Zhang.
That's, again, you're basing this off one shot, though.
Well, she also advanced quite a few after that. She controlled the fight for
No, she did not control that round. She did not control that round.
I think she did.
Just because you land one good shot does not mean you win a round. Unless it's round 1 of Adesanya Romero.
And then backed her up against the cage.
That's fine.
For the rest of the round.
No, she did not. Not against it was not the rest of the round.
Yeah.
No, it was not.
She had the middle of the octagon.
Okay. Again, you and I. Why is this on? Why are we recording a podcast, watching a podcast? Is this live? Oh, it's because it's live and I'm subscribing.
It's up next?
It's up next. It's the Up Next, guys. They did their live stream. We need to get on the live stream, I think.
So I had 48 for Zhang, 47 for Joanna. So you had the same score.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we
no 10-8 rounds.
Rounds were a little different.
Yeah, but no 10-8 rounds.
No, there was no round that was completely dominance.
Yeah. I wrote down hematoma. Leader, Hey Arnold.
Oh. Dude, she looked like one of the monsters from The Hills Have Eyes. It was so bad.
You like my Elephant Man post?
Yeah, the Elephant Man was quite funny. What was it, Megabrain, or whatever his name is? Megamind. I thought that one was pretty good.
I threw in Leader. I should have done Hey Arnold.
No, but dude, it was... Mark Hominick had a bad one, but hers was just all the full forehead. It was horrible. And just watching her get popped in it, and did you see the clip where somebody actually slowed down? It was a jab. Somebody slowed it down when she jabbed her right in it, and you just see it impacts in the forehead, and then just jiggles ripple effect, and I'm like, oh, it was so bad.
That's nasty.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I wrote the key to the fight was Zhang's left.
I just think it was just striking in general.
Right, but I felt like she could land her left whenever she wanted to. Her left wasn't her go-to punch, but every time she threw it, it landed clean.
It was placement.
Her big hook was a left.
Yeah, it was the placement. The placement was it was accurate to the point where it was she knew exactly where Joanna's head was going to go, and she was able to connect there.
I also felt like Joanna initiated grapples every time she thought that she was hurt.
Which is, it was smart.
Smart. Yeah. But to me, when you tie up with someone because they're beating you up, the judges should see that and say, that's a scared fighter. That's not control. That is fear. That is, I don't know what else to do in this situation, right?
That's how you gain control of a situation, though.
She didn't end in control. She just
she didn't get.
She just delayed the control.
Well, yeah.
You know
but she
I mean?
was like this means like she was trying to get that control like that. That could be the start to very much like a takedown, ground and pounder, submission, and things like that. Yeah. But like it doesn't make it a 10-8 round necessarily.
No, I don't. I wouldn't have given it a 10-8 round. I felt like for me, you didn't give her the fourth, but for me in the fourth and fifth round, I saw who Zhang can be for the next couple of years. I saw a really calculated fighter that didn't get too over. She didn't get too in the moment. Like, oh, I got her. Now I need to swarm her.
She was a very composed fighter.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that, especially since Zhang hasn't been in the UFC for a long time. This is probably the most high-profile fighter she's ever fought. And the moment wasn't too big for her.
I think that's the thing. That was like it's that composure piece. Like I don't think she looks at it as I'm in the UFC and this is the biggest competition of my life. It's just like I'm fighting to be a champion. Well, that's it. That's all it is. Like I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna be composed. I'm gonna fight the fight I've always fought before. Not letting emotion get. I mean, it's hard not to let the emotion get the better of you, but she did a really good job controlling that. I think that's where she really was able to, just focus in on the martial arts aspect of it and really focus on the fight. She looked like she had zero emotion going into it.
When she won the belt, was that in China?
Yes.
I feel like it was.
That was.
I didn't watch the fight because it was so early in the morning.
That was it Shanghai?
Something like that. Like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It was in China, though.
Yeah. So I think this matters, too, is when she first initially won the belt, it was kind of the perfect setup for her. She's facing a not-so-dominant champion, a brand-new champion in Andrade. And she's fighting at home. She's fighting in a different time zone. This is her comfort level. The whole crowd's on her side. She was the superstar going into that fight. That was all advantage her. Vegas, not so much. Joanna's won many fights in Las Vegas.
I think what this fight proved was that everything you just said was completely irrelevant.
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
Because she didn't have any of those advantages now.
Right, so she rose above the moment.
Exactly.
But
that's what I mean. Like I don't
think her winning in China was an easier thing than winning in Vegas.
Well, yeah, because it was two different fighters.
Yeah.
I don't think it had anything to do with China. For her, I don't think it had anything to do with China versus Vegas. I don't think she let that factor into her mindset.
I think it matters for the context of the fight, though.
Okay, so we're not doing storytelling though.
Stories matter. Stories are why sports exist.
Okay, no, stories are why sports movies exist,
and why sports fandom exists. You wouldn't be a fan if there wasn't a story that you liked.
I'd still be a football fan if the Giants didn't beat the Patriots.
Right. That's not your story. Your story is Brett Favre's career.
No, it's not.
Your story is Aaron Rodgers going from being a benched quarterback that should have been a starter forever.
I was a Packer fan before Aaron Rodgers was playing in the league. Again, these stories don't mean anything.
They do to most sports fans.
Like what?
That's the reason.
So then why are Leafs fans still Leafs fans?
Because of the history. Because their family members passed down the fandom. The story was
that's not a story.
I used to sit down and watch these games with my grandfather, and he passed this down to me, or my father, and he passed it down to me. That's the story.
That's not a story of the sport though.
But that's why
that's not a story. That's not a story. Okay, that's got nothing to do with the players though.
No, it doesn't need to do with the players.
That's got to do with my fandom. That has nothing to do with the fighter.
You're not. It's completely different because you're comparing a team to an individual. There's no teams in MMA. There's only individuals.
I'm comparing a sport to a sport, really.
You can't.
What I'm saying is that this whole China to Vegas thing proved that didn't mean anything to her.
I think it
don't worry. I think it meant something to her. I just don't think that it really was able to, like when she walked into that fight, that it was weighing on her or that she was super hyped because of it. She walked in composed into the fight in China. She walked in composed into the fight in Vegas. She won the fight in China. She won the fight in Vegas. Didn't change anything.
She was hyped from China.
She was hyped in China afterwards.
No, she was hyped in China before the fight too.
No, she was not.
Yeah, she was way more emotional going into that fight.
She was just, hold on, she walked out crying in Vegas as well.
Yeah, She was emotional in Vegas too. Two different types of emotional. In China, she walked in hyped, like, I'm going to kill this girl.
She was focused walking into both. I mean, okay, fine. The second step in the octagon, she was focused. Everything went out the window.
Yeah.
I don't think that China was the deciding factor in how she performed that night, nor was it the deciding
Not
factor.
a deciding factor. I think it's a contributing factor. It was a big reason why she was confident going into the fight. She had no significant victories under her belt prior to that fight. No one she had beaten was worth talking about.
Yeah, I think that might have more to do with the fact that it was a title fight than it was the China factor.
No, title fight is part of it as well. It's a title fight. This is my first big fight, but it's in my hometown. It's in front of my fans. These are my people. You are in my octagon. You're in my place.
Well, I don't think it affected her performance from China versus Vegas. I'm sorry.
She was nowhere near as dominant in
She was also fighting
Vegas.
She was fighting a transitional champion that won by fluke.
Right.
Won by fluke. Whooped her ass.
Right.
Versus the best strawweight fighter of all time.
Right.
That's two different fighters.
Agreed.
So unless you're going to run it back and do Joanna versus Zhang in China,
I think she'd slaughter her in China.
I wouldn't say slaughter.
I think she'd beat him in the first or second round.
How is that going to change? But Joanna's still going to come in the same Joanna.
I don't think so. Okay. Joanna walks into her building.
It's no.
It matters. Home field advantage matters.
Matter.
Home field advantage matters.
No.
Anybody who plays sports will tell you home field advantage matters. When we played against Japan in Japan, it mattered.
Let me rephrase that. So
we won in Canada against Wales. When I went to Wales and faced Wales in Wales, they killed us. The exact same team played us in Canada. We killed them.
Okay, so for some people, it might actually matter. I don't feel like for Zhang going into those fights, it mattered. I think the only thing that mattered to her was just winning. I don't think that it pumped her up anymore. It was the exact.
You don't think country pride has anything? So China,
China,
the birthplace of MMA, never had a UFC champion. She has the opportunity to be the first ever.
I don't think she walked in the octagon caring about that. I think she walked in the octagon caring about winning. That was it. She was focused on winning. That's why she won.
But winning for China in front of China.
It wasn't for China. It was winning. It was winning.
They have way more national pride than we will ever.
I'm not saying they don't have national pride. It was her focus was to win. That was it. It wasn't. I'm going to win for China. I'm going to win for
her post-fight speech would tell you otherwise.
That's her post-fight speech. It's different when you're walking.
Which she had planned before the fight. You never had a home field advantage moment?
Yes.
Where you were like, you can't beat me here? This is my home?
No.
No?
Because when I walk into any competition like that, I take that shit out. I just focus on winning. I don't give a fuck where I am. Because at the end of the day...
You use that as a motivation?
No, I do not. Because I don't want to have to lose that motivation when I'm not competing at home. I use the motivation of winning because I want to be a goddamn champion. I want to win. I don't want to win because I'm Canadian. I don't want to win in Canada and then lose in the States. I want to win, period. End of discussion. That is my drive. That is her drive.
I don't think that's
You're working me up right now.
I don't think that's her drive.
Her drive is not to win for China. I can tell you that because she won in Vegas. She will continue to win. She will continue to be a dominating champion.
That's what was impressive.
I'm going to throw something at you. Oh, my God.
It was really impressive. She overcame the odds of facing the most dominant champion.
Yes, that is super impressive.
In a not friendly environment.
I would say that it was. I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't not friendly.
Most people are Team Joanna.
I don't know, man. Those cheers were pretty even, to be honest.
In the fight.
Okay.
Leading up to the fight, most people were Team Joanna. A lot of people were looking past Zhang.
I don't know. After that whole mask thing, I think that kind of changed.
Right.
That flipped a lot over.
For a lot of people, that pissed people off. But a lot of people.
I don't think for Zhang that's what meant anything. I think it was just what meant the most to her was winning. And I think now it's. I'd really like to see. I hope Rose beats Andrade, and then it's Rose versus Zhang.
Rose Zhang is the best fight to make.
Rose Zhang is the most logical fight to make after losing the titles a fluke loss to then go on to face the person that essentially beat the person that you fluke lost to because they're a transitional champion. Didn't really matter, right? Andrade to me is just Matt Serra. What? Actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Andrade to me is more Holly Holm. No, because Holly Holm, that wasn't a fluke.
No, that was a calculated.
Holly Holm, that was very calculated.
She'd worked on it. That was intentional.
I can't even say that Holly Holm is Matt Serra because like Matt Serra from the jump of that fight looked better and was underestimated. I don't think Rose underestimated Andrade. I just think she got caught. Mm-hmm. She got caught in a bad position. She she should have let go of the armbar or the Kimura?
I
think it was
want to say Kimura, but
yeah, or was it a triangle? It might have been a triangle. Whatever it was, she had a submission. She should have let it go. When she got picked up, she should have let it go. She didn't.
Yeah,
and that's why she lost. She got slammed on her head and knocked out.
Yeah,
it was a Kimura. It was because I remember the way that she fell. She fell to the side and dropped on her head. So,
the one fighter in that division that I don't think gets talked about enough is Tatiana Suarez. She's still undefeated. Mm-hmm. Obviously, she's not a flashy fighter.
So there's your fight versus Joanna next.
See, I don't think Joanna will fight again without it being a title match. I think her next fight is a title
Then I don't
fight.
think she should fight next. I don't think she should fight again. Then you call it a career at this point.
Really?
Or go to Bellator.
Why?
What do you mean, why? You lost.
Right. But she can beat her. And she can beat Namajunas. She can.
She can. So she didn't twice against Rose.
Right.
Number one. Number two, you just lost to
Zhang. Yeah.
So I do think that you should have to fight again to get that title shot.
I agree.
Like
that would be my personal preference.
It's not gonna make sense to me. Like at the end of the day, so if it's gonna be Zhang versus Rose and then Joanna faces the winner, then at that point I think the UFC is viewing Joanna then more over the champion, right?
Yes.
Like essentially, it's going to be that whoever wins between Rose versus Zhang is then going to fight Joanna. Well, then I guess Joanna is technically the champ. When that right?
She's the draw. She's
the champ.
I think
that would be her the champ. If you're going on to have an essentially number one contender match to then fight this person, you would then be considered the champ.
I think she's the draw. You make more money if you fight Joanna.
Right now, I don't think so.
I do.
I think Rose coming back could actually be more of a draw than.
I don't know how much of a draw Rose is. I love Rose. I think she's an incredible fighter. But she has never pulled big numbers without fighting Joanna.
Okay, so let's talk big numbers and where Joanna sits in the all-time draw list, because I'm pretty sure she hasn't cracked the top 10. She might have been a
female fighters.
Yeah,
female
as a co-main event. Ronda Rousey drew.
Yeah, just her. And
Nunes drew.
That's it.
That's fine. Those are your big two.
Those are the greatest.
Right.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor draws.
Yeah.
Name somebody else that draws like Conor McGregor.
There are people that will fight for the opportunity to fight McGregor, even though he's not a champ.
Yeah. And Joanna's not going to be a main event. Or Joanna's going to be a main event of a card that I'm not going to pay for.
Joanna will be a main event of a card after they've run out of main eventers. So in September or in October, right? Because July and June.
Well, you remember you got Cejudo.
July and June take away your best. Whoever your top fighters are, they will fight in July and June. So you won't have Gamebred, you won't have Connor, you won't have John Jones. Like these big draw fighters, you won't have any of them in September. They will have all just fought.
Well, again, I think John can fight come October.
When's John's next fight?
They haven't announced it yet.
It'll be fight week.
So that's July.
It'll be the main event of fight week, July 26th.
I don't know. Maybe. I think realistically, that should be Habib.
It's money, right?
It should be Habib, but Habib's fighting Ferguson next month.
Yeah. So he won't fight again.
No. Well, I mean, maybe.
Habib's not a busy.
If he runs through him,
Habib's not a busy champ. He doesn't care to fight often. Remember Habib's whole career, he fought once a year.
Yeah, up until Poirier.
Yeah, and then he fought twice a year.
I think like if he gets a fight that he wants, then I can see him fighting more than once.
What's the fight that Habib wants? I honestly don't know if Habib and McGregor want to fight each other.
No, I don't think that's the fight.
It's really weird. It's because one time this guy will call this guy out, and this guy acts like he's not worth him, and then the other guy does the opposite. Really weird.
The fight that he wants, I'm going to say he'll either want Masvidal for the money.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Or,
don't say GSP.
No. No. I mean, I don't think he'd turn that fight down.
No, I don't think he would either.
Usman.
So you see him going up.
I see him going up. I don't see him going down.
He's not going to go down.
Yeah. I see him going to fight Usman.
So, yeah, after Ferguson, the most entertaining fight in the division is Hooker.
So Ferguson is that.
Ferguson's a great
that
fight. That fight needs to happen.
Like he doesn't need to do anything after that. That's the end of lightweight for him.
That
is what it's all
you think
led
that's
to.
It?
I think that's what it's all led to, is him and Ferguson at this point.
So then when Nurmagomedov moves on to... So first of all, I also don't see Nurmagomedov fighting that much longer. Because he's made it abundantly clear this is not his goal. He doesn't want to continue fighting. He wants to move on to other things.
I get that.
Right?
But I think he's in that talk now for the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Like it's
So how does he cement that?
How does he cement that?
Yeah.
Well, you have to win 2 belts. At this point, it's you can't not win 2 belts anymore.
I don't like that idea.
But it is what it is. Now, if he can win 2 belts and successfully defend both simultaneously, like within like a 1-year span, and be able to defend
I don't think
both
he can because he's not a busy enough fighter. UFC will strip him of his lightweight belt.
That's the thing, is he needs to be able to make himself a busy enough fighter.
So Usman,
he's got to sign that contract.
Usman's next fight is most likely Masvidal, or is it Leon Edwards?
I think it's the winner of Edwards versus Woodley.
Okay.
I don't think Masvidal's signed a fight yet.
No. No. So
I can see Colby trying to fight Masvidal at this point.
Colby doesn't deserve Masvidal.
Colby doesn't deserve shit.
Woodley, Edwards winner fights Usman. Masvidal will eventually fight Usman. I think the winner of Woodley Edwards and Masvidal fighting Usman are both going to happen before Nurmagomedov even gets an opportunity to fight Usman. You know what I mean? And does
so okay, at the end of the day, I see it like if he beats Ferguson, then he makes that move to welterweight. He fights once in welterweight and he gets a title shot.
So you think he has to earn a title shot in welterweight?
Well, I think everybody kind of does.
I don't think the UFC will make him.
Well, I guess because
they didn't make Cejudo.
I guess with the exception of Cejudo,
they didn't make McGregor earn it, right?
McGregor fought once, didn't he?
No, he's already the champion and moved up and fought Alvarez.
Didn't he fight? No, he
fought
RDA.
Was Alvarez.
Didn't he fight RDA?
That if he did, that was after.
I don't think so. I don't think he ever defended the lightweight title. Well, no, he didn't, because he went right into the Mayweather fight.
I think his first fight in lightweight was Alvarez.
I think it was RDA.
I don't even remember him fighting RDA.
Unless that fight got canceled, because there was talks. I know there was definitely talks of it.
Yeah, I don't remember him fighting RDA.
Jose, Nate. Oh no, it was Nate. It was Nate, Eddie.
Yeah.
So I guess Nate. Oh no, they're both welterweight fights.
And then what was after Eddie?
After Eddie, it was his loss to Habib.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he didn't. He went straight to.
So then,
Cejudo went straight.
Then Habib doesn't fight anybody. Habib just gets a title shot.
Who else went straight to?
From one weight class.
Cormier went straight to. Cormier went light heavyweight straight to heavyweight, right? So they don't make champions earn championship fights.
I know it's crazy. It's like the UFC just picks and chooses who gets title shots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't make champions earn champion title shots. Their mentality is you're already a champ. Why do you have to earn a title shot?
Sure.
And they want more champs, right? So yeah, I can see him going up. Usman Nurmagomedov. I don't like Nurmagomedov's chances in that fight. I consider them relatively equal wrestling, and Usman's a much larger man.
He's a different animal. The guy's a different animal.
But can he even pick him up? Like, he's a tiny dude.
I think so. What is going on with this thing right now?
I don't like the idea of Nurmagomedov moving up. If I was Nurmagomedov's coach, I'd be worried about that. The other thing is, so you don't see him going down. You don't see Nurmagomedov going down.
No.
Do you see Volkanovski going up?
To fight Khabib? I mean, I could see it.
So who's...
I think right now everyone's trying to push that double champ.
Yeah.
And then Cejudo's trying to push triple champ, so...
Yeah, he is. So if Volkanovski runs through Henry Cejudo, you don't think he goes, let me take a bite out of another champ. Give me Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, then you gotta also make sure that Megamind signs that contract, though.
Yeah.
And you say like he's a once-a-year fighter.
He is.
So
He's fickle. Yeah. I don't know what the future holds for Nurmagomedov. He's an interesting guy to try to predict because I don't think he thinks all of his decisions through from a business perspective. I think a lot of his decisions are emotional. Like Conor McGregor,
I think he's on the cusp of being considered one of the best of all time. So I think right now what he should be doing is trying to prove that. Like he's in the talks of guys like
how much
Fedor.
do you think he cares about that?
Does
he ever call himself the greatest of all time?
Did Fedor ever call himself the greatest of all time?
He called himself the greatest heavyweight of all time.
No, he did not.
Fedor?
He was called. He never called himself the greatest.
Okay, well, Fedor's people called him that.
That's fine.
Well, who gave them permission to say that? He did. Fedor never necessarily
Habib's people have called him the greatest, so it's fine.
I don't even think Habib's people have.
They don't speak English, but that's besides the point.
John Jones flat out calls himself the greatest.
Yeah, but John Jones that's part of his thing. His ego is part of his shtick, right?
Demetrius has called himself the greatest.
Ego is part of his shtick.
Yeah.
Right? George St. Pierre never called himself the greatest.
No.
Considered for a very long time the pound for pound greatest of all time.
Anderson Silva has called himself the greatest.
Shtick.
Yeah.
It's a shtick. Vitor Belfort called himself the greatest.
Delusional.
Then Garrett, what's his not little nog, big nog.
What? He called
Nog?
himself the greatest?
Which one got no?
Little Nog's heavy, or Big Nog's heavy, Little Nog's light heavy. Little Nog barely dabbled in heavyweight.
Yeah, so Big Nog.
Okay.
Big Nog called himself the greatest. I know, right? Insane.
Delusional.
Cain Velasquez never called himself the greatest.
No. People have.
People have.
People.
I think that's the big difference.
At the time, they called him the best heavyweight.
Today. I wouldn't call it of all time, but today.
Yeah, they called him the greatest heavyweight alive. Or something like that.
I mean, for that time.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Fedor's still alive.
Yeah.
I would still say the best heavyweight of all time is Fedor Emelianenko.
The problem with his status, not that he hasn't earned it, is a lot of the other guys where you consider, like if you were to bring up other people,
Yep.
he has never faced them. Right?
Well, excuse me.
He's never faced Stipe.
No.
He's never faced Dan Cormier.
No.
He's never faced what's his name?
Cain.
Randy Couture.
Did he not face Randy Couture in Pride?
I don't think so. Randy Couture was light in Pride. He never fought. Oh, there was no divisions?
No, it was heavy. Well, it was heavyweight, middleweight, and then I think lightweight.
Yeah, I feel like Randy didn't fight at a heavy division in Pride. I think his first heavyweight fight was in the UFC.
I think. Well, I mean, so Randy's lost to. Well, I think he's lost to Quentin. Quentin's lost to.
Did Fedor ever fight Mark Coleman?
I believe so.
Okay, and he definitely fought Dan Severn, I think.
I don't remember that one.
He's never fought Cain Velasquez.
Well, I mean, if you look at the end of the day, I mean, look at how many guys he's beaten.
Mm-hmm.
Fedor in his prime versus Stipe in his prime. I guess now I'm taking Fedor.
I want to take Fedor as well, but
Fedor in his prime versus Cormier in his prime.
I'd take Cormier.
I'm taking Fedor.
I don't think Fedor can stop Cormier from taking him down.
But I think he could, and I think Stipe did it. John Jones has done it.
Yeah, they're both wrestling base. John Jones grew up a wrestler. Stipe grew up a wrestler.
Fedor grew up sambo.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's very much a striking defense to grappling.
Yeah, there's very little
It's a striking defense to grappling. It's the best way to describe it. It's a striking defense to grappling.
I don't know.
Well, we're never going to see it at the end of the day.
Fedor, arguably, skill set wise, especially striking, is the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I worry about calling someone the greatest at something when they haven't faced the best that the division has to offer.
But that's like saying that you calling Stipe the best, but he's never faced Fedor in his prime, who's considered the best.
Right.
So at the end of the day, there's you can say like
Stipe would have faced him if Fedor agreed to sign a UFC contract. You can say that
Stipe. Well, what? No, that's Fedor out of his prime.
No, even Fedor. What was he? 35. He was offered a UFC contract and declined it and chose to go to Bellator.
But Stipe wasn't there. No, what? 35? The guy's in his 50s now.
Yeah.
Bellator wasn't around for 20 years.
So what was it? Strikeforce?
When he went to Strikeforce, yeah.
Okay,
because he didn't want to fight in the UFC.
Yeah, I know. He didn't. That concerns me too. Why didn't you want to fight in the UFC? Why didn't you want to fight the best?
That was like a business thing.
Yeah.
That was he didn't like.
You're avoiding the best fighters.
No, he didn't like being exploited. The fact that the UFC is able to exploit their fighters and give them base salary, and then this is around the time that they start talking about not being able to do sponsors, right?
Mm.
So that was the reason why a lot of guys left the UFC in the end was because they pulled sponsors.
Sponsorship was 15 years after that.
After what?
After he went to Strikeforce.
It's been like 7 years.
Yeah.
There's been talks about this for years now of the UFC pulling sponsors. This wasn't like a new thing when it happened with the Reebok thing.
The first brand to pull and stop sponsoring UFC fighters was
No. I'm not talking pull. I'm talking the UFC stopping sponsors.
Right, but they pulled out because they heard the UFC was going to stop, and that was Silver Star and Affliction.
Well, Affliction left years prior to that because they started their own promotion with Randy Couture.
Mm-hmm.
Affliction was, and that has to do with them sponsoring UFC fighters. Mm. At the end of the day, the way it all worked out was that fighters had certain years left, or certain fights left on their contract that they had to honor. That's why, like Brock Lesnar, for example, when Brock Lesnar left the UFC to go back to the WWE, he was wearing Jack Links because his sponsorship agreement with them stated you have to promote it for this long.
Right.
So they agreed that you can use it in the WWE as long as you finish up your contract.
Mm.
That's why it took so long, was a lot of these guys still had contracts they had to use, and they couldn't just wash these contracts away. Yeah. They're not breaching the contract.
Fedor faced Alistair Overeem in Strikeforce, I'm pretty sure. I
believe so. And he won.
Did he win that?
Yeah. His first loss came to, was it Fabricio or was it Bigfoot? It was Fabricio.
Part of me wants to say Bigfoot.
Well, because actually that's a lie. His first loss came because he got a cut over his eye and they DQ'd it. I think his first loss was Fabricio. His second loss might have been the thing guy name.
Fabricio.
Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
And then was it Brett Rogers? Brett Rogers fight Kimbo or Brett Rogers fight him? Who did Brett Rogers beat? Oh no, Brett Rogers almost beat Fedor. Again, this is Fedor at his prime, man. Like Fedor in Pride was in his prime. Yeah. So when the UFC bought Pride, he was already at the tail end of his career.
So he beat Mark Coleman, he beat Mark Hunt, he beat Tim Sylvia, Arlovsky.
Yeah,
beat Brett Rogers.
The Arlovsky one was like just a nasty right hook.
He beat Brett Rogers, and then he lost.
He beat Brett Rogers.
He lost to Verdum, Bigfoot, and Dan Henderson all in a row.
Yes, and then came back, won.
Jeff Monsoon.
Yep.
Satoshi Ishii, Pedro Rizzo.
Lost to Bader.
Lost to Matt Mitrione first.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Mitrione fight.
Then he beat Frank Mir, Chael Sonnen. Lost to Bader.
that was the start of the heavyweight Grand Prix. Yeah. Lost to Bader. And then came back and beat Quinton.
Rampage Jackson. Yeah.
Like we're talking like in prime. Yeah. That's where like you want to say that Stipe is the best. Could he have beaten Fedor in his prime? Probably not. Same thing with Cormier.
You know what? Especially when you consider the inconsistencies at heavyweight, he was damn consistent for a long time.
Well, 15 years? 35 fights or something like that? Like,
yeah. So
he beat
he's 39
he beat
and 6.
UFC champions.
Yes.
Right? Like Mark Coleman, UFC champion. Tim Sylvia, UFC champion.
Yeah.
Arlovsky.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you know what? Looking at just the consistency, I agree.
yeah.
He's definitely the
I will
greatest
say
heavyweight
that
all time.
you can call Stipe the greatest UFC heavyweight champion of all time. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I wouldn't really call him much else.
Yeah, it's what's on the horizon for the UFC is interesting, especially with Corona. We'll see what steps they take.
Dude, we might even get the fight next weekend.
Yeah, that's the Leo Oliveira fight.
Yep. Like that could get canceled. But.
There's a couple heavyweight fights coming up. Nice.
Nebraska's head coach left game early after falling ill on bench.
What time? How much time are we at?
1 hour 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness!
Let's just roll with it, man. Like this is a crazy week.
We haven't got to.
We've taken piss breaks. We haven't talked elimination chamber yet. We've been taking piss breaks. We're still catching these Corona updates as they come about.
Might as well be SARS updates.
The NHL is going to make an announcement tomorrow.
Coronavirus to have major impact on WrestleMania 36.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Dude, like I said, if the city of Tampa cancels it, man, like it sucks for the city of Tampa. It sucks for all the fans. It sucks for the independent guys that are going to be wrestling, like WrestleCon and stuff like that.
Okay, wait. WWE news that I can't believe I haven't even talked about yet. Gronk.
Oh, Jesus.
Gronk to the WWE.
You can give your take because you already know mine.
What do you think he's going to sign? Is he going to sign a wrestling contract? Is this a talent sign?
I would assume
Is this
so.
a manager sign? Is he going to manage Mojo Rawley, his best buddy?
It. No, I'm going to assume he's going to sign a WWE wrestler talent contract.
Is he going to?
He's going to wrestle less than Ronda Rousey did.
Is he going to have to earn his keep in the NXT, or is he going to go straight main roster?
Main roster.
Is he going to be at WrestleMania if it happens?
Probably. He's going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
He's already been in it once.
No, he wasn't in it. He interfered. He should have been disqualified. Yes. Dude, I don't know. Don't ask questions, man.
Okay.
The screen's just getting really weird over there.
I want to see what comes from this.
I don't like it's.
I want to see how they try to book him. Like, what do they do with him? Because, like, he's also lost a lot of weight. He's not as big as he was. He doesn't look as menacing. He looks like just a happy, nice guy who's really tall.
He looks like me.
He's taller than you.
How tall is he?
6'7".
Is he really?
Yeah.
Fuck, whatever. That's like an old.
This guy.
Fuck him.
Why are you so upset? You always want to be the tallest guy?
I was like 6'4". No, I don't always want to be the tallest guy, man. That can be disheartening sometimes.
I can't. Okay. What were we talking about? Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Where do you want to start with Elimination Chamber?
I guess we can start at the beginning. He's 6'6". He's got 2 inches on me. Shut up. What was the opening match on that card again? I don't remember anymore. Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak.
Okay.
Oh, did you watch it?
No.
Why? I asked you. You said you watched it all.
What?
I asked you. I said, did you watch Chamber? You said yes. I said, oh my god, really?
I did watch Chamber. I didn't watch that match.
Bro, how did you not watch that match?
I wasn't that interested in that match.
Do you watch wrestling or do you watch sports entertainment?
Apparently I watched sports entertainment. When did I clue in that it was on? I clued
earlier
in
that day. You texted me about it.
In the tag team match. That's where I started watching.
Okay. So
I missed Andrade and I missed Daniel Bryan. Tell me all about Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak.
Okay, that was a great that was a technical match. That was
as it can be expected.
I love for Roddy, so no, that was like great. That was like old school catch as catch can style wrestling. But there's this one spot, and you could tell he was trying to launch Bryan over his shoulders and do the full. I'm trying on the camera here. The full rotation, so he lands like belly flop.
Okay.
So he hits the belly to back. It's like the one arm over the shoulder, launches him, releases him in the air. Brian's supposed to do the full rotation laying on his stomach. Brian does not rotate onto his stomach. Brian lands directly on his neck.
On his surgically repaired.
Yeah, man. Like I saw that and I was like I gasped. Like I was like, I was like, he's dead. Like I was like, that's it. Like his career's over. It was terrifying to watch. I ended up finishing the match just fine. Everything was great. He ended up winning. But like that was a great match. I would say that was probably my number 2 for the night.
Okay.
Then Andrade Humberto. Mm-hmm. Classic. Like it was fantastic.
Yeah. So I'll go back and rewatch these matches.
Definitely rewatch them. Like it was kind of what you would expect, except for it looks like they actually gave him time for it this time. Like it wasn't like a quick little like 2-minute match. Like they had some time to kind of put in the work there. Both performed great, looked great. I found myself at moments kind of being like, oh my god, like is Humberto going to win this? Like is this where he's going to get the U.S. title? Like what's going to happen here? So that's always good. If you can pull me in like that where I start questioning kind of what the outcome's going to be, good job.
Yeah, that's proper.
That's
match.
The point.
That's proper ring work.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I like when I put together like some of my favorite matches of all time, I don't include what was it? Rock and Austin at WrestleMania 17. Like I kind of figured like okay, this is where they're going with it. I didn't really count Taker versus what's his name? Taker versus Shawn 2 or Shawn versus Flair. Like I look at like Shawn versus Jericho or Taker versus Triple H at the Hell in a Cell at Mania, where I was like, oh, is this where the streaks get broken? Because you gotta get the investment into it. Like, okay, what's really going to happen? What's the outcome going to be? So I think that was definitely a great story that they told between the two of them there. I don't remember what came next. I don't remember.
The next match was the tag match.
It was the tag match. Okay.
So I really liked the tag match. I loved the New Day's gear, the color by sequence.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. I was like, who thought of this? That is jokes.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
Shout out to Xavier Woods, man.
Yeah, that was great. They had the Xavier Woods armbands on. Nice touch.
Oh, they've had those on since he got hurt.
Oh, I haven't watched.
I wish that they didn't give any interaction between Heavy Machinery and Ziggler and Rude.
Why?
Because like they should just not touched. Like I would have been cool with like if Otis went to like take out Ziggler through the pod and like they opened up the other side and jumped out the other side and he went flying out and then that took out Otis and then he beat up on Tucker. Cool. I just don't. I think they need to keep that distance between those two and then let Otis just tear Ziggler apart down the road.
First, Tucker jumps off the top of the capsule.
Hits a somersault.
Yeah, that's a big dude.
Imagine if Otis did that though.
Yeah. But like Tucker's a massive.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he's definitely he's a big boy for sure.
And they were like, let's go, we're gonna take it. Favorite spot as far as just like, wow, that was really cool. Lince Dorado doing
the shooting star.
What? he's swinging above them. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? He does a shooting star press.
Well, like,
okay.
I'm sitting there I see him start to climb. I'm like, this guy's gonna climb to the top and hit something. Because it was, I think Kalisto did it a few years ago where he climbed up.
I thought he was just going to fall down onto them. And
Kalisto got to the middle, part and hit the cross body.
Yeah.
And this guy just like swinging, and I'm like, I see him swinging. I'm like, is he gonna hit a shooting star? Because whenever I've seen something like that, is I think it was AJ Styles. AJ Styles was on the Ultimate X, and he's swinging back and forth, and then just like flips and hits a shooting star on it. I think Sabin or Daniels. But I'm like, he's swinging. I'm like, this guy's gonna hit a shooting star, and sure as shit, like just. And like it looked good. I think he might have hurt himself on the landing.
So good.
Yeah.
He didn't over rotate.
No.
I was like, damn, that was a really impressive move.
Yeah.
And then they're eliminated immediately after.
Yeah. I have machinery too. Yeah. It's like that's kind of like a heel thing to do, but whatever.
I was like, oh, he just pulled off the match of the move of the night.
The best part is like, so he hits it. You see like everyone drop. You just see Otis like stumble and like hits the ropes. Like he's like, I'm not getting involved in this shit. I was like, oh, you can just tell. You could tell right from there. I'm like, they're setting up to finish it there. Yeah. At the end of the day, like I kind of figured where the match was going. I figured Miz and Morrison. I wasn't that surprised.
They always talk about the psychology of the match and how like do things that make sense. New Day and the Usos turning on each other after deciding to team up didn't make sense.
I think it did.
I didn't think it made sense at all. You had you had the numbers. You had established that you're going to work together, take them out, and then the two greatest tag teams in the match are going to establish who's the best. And instead, you basically beat up on Ziggler and Morrison for like 20 seconds, and then you turned on each other immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, that was
so
rushed.
here's why I actually don't have an issue with it. Is to me like that would kind of make sense. Like two of the greatest tag teams, right? Two guys, like two teams that know each other inside and out,
respect each other.
No, I wouldn't say that. Just they know each other inside.
They
and out. They do. I get it. They do, right. But they know each other inside and out. They know what each other are going to do. They know what each other's capable of. They know that they can lose to one another.
Okay.
So I'm going to, try to get the upper hand as quick as I possibly can.
But they didn't.
Versus Miz and Morrison who haven't teamed together in forever and blah blah.
But
blah,
they
blah,
didn't even make it like it was a heel thing, like
because it wasn't.
It should have been.
No.
Because aren't the Usos still heels right now?
No, they haven't been heels since they returned.
Really?
No, they were paired up with Roman.
Oh.
Yeah. They're good guys.
Even
at the end of the day,
even though they're down since.
At the end of the day, I think it was all just to lead to a multi-team match at Mania, and I don't like.
So Usos, New Day, and Ziggler.
Miz Morrison ladder match with Heavy Machinery and Rude and Zig. Unless those two are going to go off and do their own thing, I don't like it. Just I would rather just watch New Day versus the Usos personally.
So I'm okay with just a triple threat tornado with a ladder.
I don't need the ladder.
I
don't need the ladder.
I
think you do an elimination match, and realistically, you eliminate Miz and Morrison first.
I don't want Zig and Rude in the match. I don't want Heavy Machinery in the match.
No, let them go off and
I
do
want just
their
Usos, New Day, Miz and Morrison. I think you can put on a good match with those three tag teams.
I agree.
We've seen great. It's obviously not the same level, but we've seen Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys.
You're not.
I said it's not the same level.
Not close.
Right? But
not even close.
It can be done. Good matches with three tag teams can be done.
Well, okay, so here's my question then. Outside of Miz and Morrison, Hardys, Dudleys, E&C, name another time that's happened. A great tag team triple threat match.
I don't know wrestling as well as you do, so you'd have to tell me.
It hasn't. That's things like it hasn't though. Okay, you know what? Okay, maybe AOP Revival DIY.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
What was the one that had TM61 in it? Wasn't there a triple threat with TM61?
The one that we saw?
Yeah,
that was just them versus
Where
AOP.
He jumped off the friggin' cage.
That was them versus AOP for the Dusty Classic.
Okay. Oh, that was a Dusty Classic match.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Eminem was never in a triple threat.
They were in a fatal four-way where Joey Mercury got his face busted open with the ladder.
Good times.
That was a horrible match. The match wasn't good, and it just went to shit the second he got hit, to be honest.
It's funny, I'm watching that match, and I'm talking, because Kelly kind of watches, and she likes the Usos in New Day. And
he just, stares at the screen when I'm watching, and she's like... Young Bucks, who are these rainbow band Pocahontas guys?
So she likes New Day, she likes Usos, and
she loves Roman.
And she's like, they're really good teams, right? Yes, you have 6-time champions and 7-time champions. They are the tag team division. And she's like, well, why are Miz and Morrison so significant? I'm like, well, the champion's coming in. And actually, without each other, they both won tag titles a lot of times. Miz has won it with multiple people. Mm-hmm. And Morrison was Eminem. So
I think did he win it with Kofi?
Morrison?
Oh, no, Kofi won it with Evan Bourne.
Yeah, Morrison won it with someone other than just Eminem, though. Didn't he?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought he did.
Maybe. Well, actually, no. Sorry. So he did. So there's a reason why Miz and Morrison are a team right now. It's because they were a team before.
Really?
Yeah.
In WWE?
Yeah. They were in ECW together.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. They were in ECW, and then they went on to...
Were they tag champions in ECW?
No, ECW didn't have tag champs.
Oh.
They won the unified back when they first went with like the black with the bronze. They won that, or was it the SmackDown? I don't remember. They won something. But who are they? Oh, they were feuding with. Was it DX?
Miz and Morrison.
Yeah, I think it was. Was it DX?
Wow.
They were feuding some big names. Like they were around top of the card. So.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, they actually have a lot of tag belts between the two of them, and they have more individual success than all.
I think like the Miz has held it with Big Show.
Show Miz, yeah.
Yeah, he's held it with.
He held it with.
Was it Show Miz or Miz Show?
Show Miz.
Was it Show Miz?
As in like Show Biz, but it was Show Miz.
Because no, it was right after Jarrah Show.
Yeah,
that's why I couldn't remember if it was Miz Show or Show Miz.
Did he win it with Cena? Part of me thinks he did.
I don't think Michaels won it with Cena. I don't think he won it with Cena.
Miz won it with.
Okay, so Morrison.
I have to look this up now because it's going to bother me.
I want you to look it up, but don't tell me them all. So Morrison,
testing
Show. Man, like this is actually harder than I thought it'd be.
Johnny Bananas.
Man, this is actually difficult. Show Morrison. I don't think he's held it with anybody else actually.
Okay.
Tell me how many people he's won a tag title with.
Okay. Oh, there's one here. You're going to be upset that you forgot. There's two here. You're going to be upset that you forgot.
So he didn't win it with Ziggler.
So he won it with.
He didn't win it with Zack Ryder.
Oh my goodness. You let me know.
Give me like a year.
It doesn't tell me the years.
He did. Okay, so. Okay, give me one name.
He's been a four-time
tag champ.
Tag champ
with 4 different partners.
Wait, WWE Tag Team Championship. He's won 4 times. WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. He's won 2 times.
Oh, Shane McMahon.
Yep, that's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, world's greatest tag team. That was their thing, right?
Best team in the world or something like that.
And then Damien Mizdow.
Oh, that's right. They were tag champs at one point.
And John Cena.
We did win with Cena.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
So he's won. I don't know how this works. So he's won it with Morrison, Show, Cena, and Mizdow. Mm-hmm. And then I guess this is just breaking down on what shows.
I have no idea.
He's also won the Mixed Match Challenge.
He won that with Asuka. I remember.
Yeah. And she's awesome.
After the tag elimination chamber, I think it was. Did it go right into Styles and Black?
That went right into Styles.
So that was my match of the night.
I loved this match.
That was a great match, and there was a lot of hoopla and shenanigans.
The Undertaker pin.
I don't care.
Was sick.
Well, that was from Raw.
What?
He did that on Raw.
Did it on Raw?
He did it on the Raw the week before.
Oh.
So you got to remember something, okay? So this whole card, this Elimination Chamber card, it literally had 1 week to build. Because Saudi Arabia was the week prior. So the Thursday before Raw, it was Saudi Arabia, so they had the whole card there.
Yeah.
And then it was Raw and then Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
1 week.
Yeah.
That's all they had. So a lot of this stuff just kind of came out of nowhere. So they did that. That was a great match. The Taker pin, we all knew it was leading to because it came from Saudi Arabia when Taker won some cup thing. But just that match, like I said, like the hoopla and the shenanigans and stuff like that, didn't take away from like how great that match was. Like those two looked great. And Styles let Black get a lot of stuff in, and like it all should have led to realistically Styles beating Black for Taker or beating on Black and the whole thing. But it was a good back and forth match.
How do you feel about Black walking away with the win?
I'm not angry about it
because it's really Taker's win.
Well, it's not even that. Black gets the win. It enhances the story with Styles and Taker, so it's kind of like a win-win.
Fair.
The part that I love is when Gallows, Anderson, and Styles surround Black. Black's like, fuck it, let's go down fighting. Gets jumped, and Gallows starts punching Anderson. He's trying to work the punches. He reaches over, punches Anderson in the face, and then just keeps like hitting Anderson. I'm like, what are you doing? That's your partner, bro.
I didn't notice that he was hitting
it was a botch, but it was great to watch. It was a great botch. Yeah, that was definitely my match of the night. And then from there, it was
Street Profits
versus Rollins and Murphy. I don't like that Street Profits had to come out first. Champs come out second. Champs come out last.
Yeah.
Like that's... But I get you're telling the whole story. Like the story isn't really the Street Profits. The story is Rollins versus Owens. And I think they really showed that when they didn't let Street Profits come out for a second.
My favorite thing Owens did was sitting on the table going... And Angelo Dawkins comes out of nowhere and clears him.
Just fucking bulldozes.
I was like, that was great.
That was awesome.
Because I was just like,
I didn't expect it.
Whatever. Owens also looks like he's in incredible shape.
Oh, he's slimmed out. He's definitely slimmed
out. His arms are also bigger. Like he's been hitting the gym. The boy's been lifting.
I wouldn't know.
He's always been strong, but like, holy, like
he's slimmed out.
I think he's
toned.
He's getting serious into being more than just the big guy who can do athletic things. You know what I mean?
But that's why I love him so much.
But that was a shtick he was stuck with.
I wouldn't even call it a shtick. Like it was just like, I think it made him a little more relatable to a lot of people.
Right, which is true. But I think there was also times where it was like, wow, that's impressive for a fat guy.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
That's our opinion though. Like that's not like him being like, I'm just a big guy trying to do like
but I think
flippy dippity
things.
Be like,
I'm also just a really good wrestler.
And I think that's what a lot of wrestling fans recognize him for being a good wrestler. I think that a lot of people relate to him because he is, he's in great shape now, but he was not in the best of shape. I think he was still hitting the gym and stuff. I just don't think he was putting as much work as most people. He'd probably crush back a large pizza afterwards, and that's fine.
The
guy won the Universal Championship at the complete opposite of what a Vince McMahon body is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's one of my favorite wrestlers. He's incredible. I love watching Kevin Owens.
I think I know I said last week when I was at Tori, I went to top 10. I said he's probably not in my top 10. Like nobody in the main roster is. I think he's in my top 10. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think that obviously being where he is, he still gets held back a lot, which sucks.
Yep.
But he's fantastic.
Do you see him ever transitioning to another show?
Like back to NXT?
No, to an AEW.
AEW? I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
I don't think
the WWE is going to let him go. I think they're going to keep offering.
He'd be an absolute superstar in AEW.
Yeah, but I think they're going to offer money. I think if anything, he leaves on the same conditions that like a Dean Ambrose left, where it's like my contract's up, I'm not resigning.
Underutilizing me.
Yeah.
The other thing with Kevin Owens that I think he can contribute to the WWE is, first of all, I think he can teach other people how to work a mic. But I think he can be involved in some writing.
Yes. The thing with the whole mic work thing, you can't teach charisma.
No, you can't teach charisma.
At the end of the day with him, it's not so much about how he works the mic, it's about his charisma.
Yeah.
Like the guy's French Canadian.
Yeah.
Right? At times he is very hard to understand. I was watching something the other day with him and like it was an interview and he just like he started kind of rolling and just like talking, not stopping, and you could hear that accent start really coming through, which I'd never really noticed as strong as it was, and like it just came out. I was like, oh crap. He's got that it factor that you just can't teach. He's got that charisma to him. Him and Sami Zayn. You stick a hand or a mic in their hand and like go out there and cut like a really like driven, sincere promo. I don't think either of them. I'm not gonna say either of them can't do it. I think
Sammy can.
It's gonna come from a place of anger.
Sammy's done endearing promos.
I think it's gonna come from a place of anger though.
Sammy's done like the underdog stuff though. Sammy's done thank you guys so much for supporting me through the years, and he's done that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was the champion Sammy was in NXT.
That's not that. Oh, well, the champion he was in NXT was 2 days. He gets ass beat.
Or even leading up to being the champion.
Like I like him on the mic now because he's trying to be funny.
Sammy?
Yeah, he's funny.
I think Sammy's better at being a good guy than a bad guy.
I think everyone would actually agree with that, 100%. Mm-hmm. He's a very entertaining bad guy. I do like this.
He's
the character that he came with as a bad guy, like he was mimicking his old character.
Yep.
I like that.
I find him very easy to like.
Yeah,
I find him very easy to cheer for.
Yeah, dude.
Kevin Owens is likable as a bad guy.
What's the foundation is? Sammy for Syria. I'm not like, dude. Like that's like, how do you be a bad guy, but then like you're trying to do like all this community work for Syria. Like that's awesome.
Yeah,
I can't hate you for that. It's like Angel Garza jumps over the guardrail, kisses a grandma on the cheek,
yeah,
and then like puts his arm around her. I'm like, how can I hate you?
Well, it's kind of heelish behavior,
but it wasn't. It was like
great.
It was the most like sweetest thing ever. Like this grandma had like a big smile on her face. She's like so happy. Like, yo, you put a smile on my grandma's face like that, bro? We're cool, man. If you walk up, like, go to give her a kiss and go, no, and like back off, and like, yeah, that's a dickish move.
So, how did you feel about Street Profits leaving that match?
No different.
No different.
It was Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins.
Yeah. I thought.
How'd I feel about Buddy Murphy? No different.
But I thought Montez Ford, every time he has a big moment or a bigger match moment, he does a really good job. I think he's a great worker. Like his in-ring performance is great. I think he's got some great charisma. I feel bad that I'm going to say this, but I feel like Angelo Dawkins is going to lose a partner eventually, yeah, and just fade off into the distance. And Angelo Dawkins is going to be Chad Gable, and Montez Ford is going to be Jason Jordan. Except for Montez Ford might actually like do well. Yeah, I can see it. But Dawkins, I don't think is going to get a Jason Jordan should have never left Chad Gable. Where are they right now? Jason Jordan's unfortunately had to retire due to neck injury. Oh, he had to retire. Yeah, I didn't know that. I think he has the same thing like Edge has, or had. I didn't know that. Chad Gable's now a Shorty G. Chad Gable should team with Angelo Dawkins. They can go be American Beta. No, I don't want to see it. I don't. Okay, so like I don't dislike the Street Profits. I think the gimmick worked really well. Oh, I like their stuff. I like their intros before they enter the match. Here's the problem though: is I don't think it's going to work out too well right now because they can't go in the crowd anymore. Mm-hmm. So that kind of hurts them there because that crowd interaction is a big piece of that, right? Yeah. So it's a big hit right there. Yeah. I think Montez Ford's got a bright future. Yeah, Angelo Dawkins. Montez Ford is a bright future, but what's he gonna be? I think multiple-time Intercontinental Champion. He could be everything that Shelton Benjamin was before. I think he could pull off a world title reign in there somewhere. I think Angelo Dawkins would actually be a really good heel, a good monster heel. I think he could pull it off. And I think that turning on Montez Ford would be the way to do it, but they need to run with that. They can't do with the big cast Enzo Amore thing where they cast turns and then they do one thing and then Enzo gets like destroyed and then Kaz breaks his knee or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I think like I said, I think they let him run with the tag, let him run with the tag for a little bit. Yeah. I think Montez Ford is definitely the brighter star of the two, but so it's just my opinion. I eventually need to go to sleep. Oh God, it's 12th. Holy shit. Yes, it is. So Sami Zayn, Shinsuke, Cesaro. This was stupid. I didn't like this match at all. I skipped over most of it. Sami ends up getting the win, so Sami's the champ. Yep. But they're going to share it as a triumvirate. Who knows? It's a waste of 3 good talents. 4 good talents, really. Yeah. Then finally, the main event, women's elimination chamber match. We all knew. So it's like it's Adesanya versus Romero all over again. We all knew how this match was going to end. Yeah, it was a useless match. It was a pointless match. The one thing it did was they didn't sugarcoat it. What? Oh, because it was like in and out, one and done. They didn't give us. This is a great match being had by all. You know what I mean? They were like, Shayna, go kill them all. Well, I was thinking, so this is the first time that any single competitor has eliminated everybody in an elimination chamber match. She just dominated. It established her as even more dominant. Why was that the main event? Why were we doing this? We already knew it was going to come of it. It was kind of useless. Yeah, but I would have rather seen the men's elimination chamber match. Roman win that to then go on to face Goldberg if you want to do that debacle. That makes more sense. Like, you can't have Shayna attack the champ and then contend. It's just like we already know what's happening here. Yeah, it's a lock. So, at any point, did you think someone else might win? Nope. No. Nope. There's a lot of people that thought Liv Morgan was going to win that match. A lot of people.
I don't even watch the product and I knew that wasn't going to happen.
I was shocked. So I'm going through like Twitter and I'm going through Instagram feeds and stuff like that, and the amount of people in the comment section who are like, big twist, Liv's gonna win, watch, Liv's gonna win. So many people. I was like, why do you think that?
That's like saying like a team that's ranked like 23rd out of the 64 for Madness is gonna win.
They could.
Sure they could, but
Wichita State almost did it with Freddie VanVleet.
No, it's not happening.
So yeah, she basically just runs through everybody. I liked the little things that the Riot Squad did to show the animosity between each other. I have no idea where that program's going.
I think they're just gonna feud it out to Mania or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna have a triple threat match
probably
for the riotist.
That's if they do Mania, but it'll be on like the pre-show.
The most rioty of the rioters.
Maybe it'll be an empty arena triple threat match. Who knows?
Really good times. So yeah, that was Shayna.
That was a decent card ruined by a bad main event.
Natalya. I don't want her in these spots. She's fodder. She's fodder at this point.
She always really has been.
Yeah.
I great talent. Don't put her on a microphone. I don't need to hear. Honestly, I don't hear anyone say bitch anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the baddest bitch. Who are you looking at, bitch?
No.
It's just like that's all she does. Like all her promos come down to like the last line she says is bitch.
And there's a pause before.
Yep.
She leans in.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna build the suspense to say bitch. Like, are you trying to get like 12-year-olds to pop?
Did you like the Asuka hype at all?
No.
Asuka being like,
it was useless.
Yeah,
because it all led back to Shayna. Like
they wanted to make us think.
I fast forwarded through that match.
Oh, you even watch it?
Why?
Well,
like
you can't give me genuine feedback on. Did you think anyone else might win?
Yeah, I can.
You didn't watch it.
I didn't have to. I could have watched it and wasted
in the moments based off of what was interacting.
Okay,
because there was some moments where it was like, I see that they're trying to make me think this.
Did Shayna get hit with anything other than a move by Asuka?
Yeah, Liv did land something on her.
And then she probably shook it off. And
what did she land?
I don't know.
Double drop kick? Something like that?
Did Shayna even go down?
Yeah. I think so.
That wouldn't change my take on it at all.
She beat the crap
They gave
out
us
of
they gave us the angle before they gave us the match.
She beat up those girls though. Liv took a really solid bump.
So I saw the powerbomb. So this is once everybody was in is where I started really tuning.
Powerbomb on Natty.
Was it Natty or was it Liv?
She smacked Liv against the
so I think
capsule.
She got something in the powerbomb.
Holding her like this.
No, it was the powerbomb. She got in the powerbomb position, like had her down. And like swung her into the cage.
Yeah,
and swung her back into the pod. And I'm like,
that was Liv. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was aggressive.
Yeah.
She also did something to Natty that looked really painful too.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
It was right in between It was in between the capsule and the pylon and the corner.
Did she hit like a drive-by kick?
I don't know, something in that section. Yeah. I was like, oh, that hurts. That hurts. Yeah, no matter no matter what that was, that hurts. There was a couple moments where I was like, Shane's just down here beating these girls up. What do you think about Ruby's look with the longer hair and I kind of like Ruby's comeback look, and I like the little collar shirt she's wearing.
I think she got her attire from what's the guitarist from Rancid, Lars Fredericks. I think it's Lars from Rancid, and it was his look, like the plaid, like the green plaid. Yeah, I didn't hate the green plaid look.
I love the green plaid look. I was like, that's cool.
The hair,
that's different.
I don't care about the hair.
I liked her look. I was like, that's a cool take. You're trying to evolve your character.
I like the punk rock look is the short hair thing, right? So
yeah,
whatever.
Fair.
Whatever.
I think
It looks better than Sarah Logan.
Crazy Mary needs to figure something out.
Is she a hunter? Is she a Viking? Is she a wild
wolf?
person? Was she a wolf? Nobody knows what is going on there.
Yeah, she needs to pick something and stick to it.
Yeah.
Realistically, she would have been the perfect Sister Abigail. They could have done something with her. You don't think so? I'm talking about before ever being Sarah Logan.
Oh, before everything? No.
I'm talking about Crazy Mary Dobson to
She was just
Sister
like a deathmatch
Abigail.
wrestler before. Like,
Yeah, that's Sister Abigail to me. Deathmatch?
I don't know. Who was it I thought would be? It was somebody from NXT.
Oh, not Rosemary.
No.
Someone from NXT.
It was somebody from NXT I thought would be.
Are they on the main roster now?
I don't remember.
Oh.
They might not be with the company anymore. I don't know.
Hey, good times.
Yeah.
Speaking of good times, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap this one up. We're at almost 2.5 hours, so until next week, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, we'll come back with the review for Lee versus Oliveira. We'll see what happens with the whole Corona thing, but until next week,
Good times.
good times.
Good times.